Good afternoon and welcome to the 2022 ECAC Men's Gymnastics Championships. William & Mary is playing host for this year's conference championship at Kaplan Arena in Williamsburg, Virginia. I'm Patricia Duffy, joined by three-time Olympian Sam McCulloch, and together we are your hosts for this afternoon's quad meet. Quad, of course, meaning four teams: Navy, Army, William & Mary, and Springfield are competing for the title of conference champion, but only the top three will advance to the NCAA Championships in 2 weeks. Sam, is Navy looking good to defend its 2021 title?
They definitely seem to be. They have a lot of start value going into this competition over their competitors. ECAC so far, and they're just going to continue that momentum throughout this week.
Well, we'll get into all of that and more in this pregame show before the meet officially kicks off at 2 p.m. Eastern. In the meantime, if you're just tuning in or simply wondering who are these voices, well, Sam, I think your credentials speak for themselves, but give viewers a little rundown of who you are and what you've been.
Yeah, so I've been an elite gymnast for over 10 years, and I recently retired after my third Olympic Games. I've won 6 national titles. I went to school at University of Michigan, was a gymnast there for 4 years, won 2 national championships with the team, and 8 individual titles for myself, and then 2 world medals out on the world stage. So I feel like I've got some good accreditation for this, but I'm excited to dive back into the NCAA and get into this ECAC championship. And what about you, Patricia? I know we've worked together in the past, but...
Definitely. Well, although I'm not an Olympic athlete, I've been covering gymnastics for 6 years since my days at the University of Georgia when I was on the Gym Dogs beat. Since then, the majority of my career has been in the gymnastics industry, and in 2020, I launched Gymnastics Now, a new site dedicated to providing comprehensive coverage and equal coverage of men's and women's elite and collegiate gymnastics. I've worked with NBC Sports as an Olympic researcher the past 2 Olympics, covering gymnastics for Tokyo 2020 and figure skating during Beijing 2022, and most recently I wrapped up coverage of the Paralympics in March, an exceptional movement that I highly recommend checking out. Although I love covering a variety of sports, gymnastics is easily my favorite, and I'm excited to see what these guys have got in store for us today. Speaking of, let's dive a little bit deeper into these teams and their storylines heading into this meet. Sam, Springfield has never qualified as a program. Could that change today?
You know, I think it could potentially be the case. It's been a strange year for them. They've been going up against William & Mary in terms of scores for the first half of the season, and they've beaten them. But once they actually went head-to-head in the later half of the season, William & Mary seems to have been taking the edge and edging them out. And so we're coming down to a competition today where whoever is going to win is going to be an NCAA team finalist. And it's going to be a lot of pressure because it seems like these teams are both very young. But Springfield, the coach has been saying that they just had an inter squad. They hit 37 out of 40 routines that they were putting out in that inter squad, and they feel closer than ever to making their first NCAA team appearance. And they said it might be a little bit of pressure, but they're going to stay mindful. They're not trying to look at scores, and they do think that this is the best shot that they've had to making it to NCAA team finals. And despite this being their 7th week of competing straight in a row, they've been very diligent with their strength and conditioning and physical therapy to avoid injuries, and they feel stronger than ever going into this weekend. They took it a little lighter last weekend, so their scores dipped, but they're looking to peak real big at this competition and hold nothing back. And this whole season, they've been doing great on floor. They've just been very consistent with their scores. Pommel Horse has been between a 57 and 63, so a little up and down here and there. But I think if they can go above a 60, that's going to bode well for them today. Rings has steadily been decreasing from 63s and 64s early in the season to lower 60s and 61s. So we're hoping they can bump that up just a little bit to give them a more of a competitive edge against William & Mary. And then they've been very consistent on vault. Very strong event for them. Mid 68s to 69s. And parallel bars is greatly improved. Now they're averaging in the 63s. And high bar has had its ups and downs, but we're hoping for them to be somewhere above a 60. And their best team score so far has been a 381.95. So if they can improve on that, they're making a very strong case for themselves to make the NCAA team finals. And you've got some information for us on, what do you want to start with, William and Mary?
William and Mary, yeah, let's start with Springfield's #1 competition today. Of course, Springfield's #1 goal today should be going 36 for 36 because there is no room for error against number 12, William and Mary. If you want to talk about tight competition, these teams are about as evenly matched as it gets. And while Springfield has an upper hand on average score and season high, only by 1/10 of a point, of course, the Tribe currently sits ahead of the Lions in the rankings thanks to a 4-score average that's even closer. We're talking just 0.05 ahead. Last weekend at USAG's, which featured the same teams competing today, the Tribe topped the Lions by 5 points, setting up what should be an interesting showdown between the two for that final qualifying spot. They've been back and forth with Springfield all season, but are feeling comfortable heading into this meet, especially starting out on their best event, parallel bars, where they're currently ranked number 11 nationally. Head coach Mike Powell told me earlier this week that starting on parallel bars is also exciting because it means the team will finish the meet on 2 adrenaline-packed events, rings and vault. Last season, William and Mary qualified as a team to NCAAs for just the 7th time after finishing its meet on vault. So we'll see that if that event is the team's lucky charm today. If you look at the team's event scores across the board this season, they're all trending up as the young squad begins to really believe in itself. Believe is also the theme they've been using all season to signify belief in themselves, and there's a little fun aspect of that, paying a little homage to Ted Lasso as well. On vault, they'll both be looking to go 68 plus and floor nearing that 65 mark, both doable as those events have been steady increases all season. Rings and parallel bars are a little flatter on the graph, but if they're pushing 64, they'll be happy with that. And then there's horse and high bar, probably the most inconsistent for the team this season. It's been up and down, but when they're on, a score around 62 on horse and 63 on high bar is where they need to be to really put the pressure on. Aiden Coy, Christian Marsh, and Sam Lee are the guys to watch for William and Mary. Between them, those 3 hold the top scores for the team on all 6 events, and Coy is ranked 10th in the country in the all-around, the team's best individual ranking coming into this meet. Coach Powell also told me the school is especially excited to host this championship meet this year with fans in attendance after the fate of the program was up in the air last school year. In September 2020, William and Mary announced it was cutting 7 varsity teams, including men's and women's gymnastics. All 7 teams were eventually reinstated, but with some gray area on if they were safe long term. In March of last year, it was announced the men's team will continue to compete without an end date. So while these guys are fierce competitors, they're also just happy to be here, repping William and Mary without that worry in the back of their minds. So what about the Black Knights, Sam?
Yeah, well, obviously they want to win, but they know Navy has the advantage in terms of difficulty. So they're hoping that they have some individuals that can be champions in this Eastern Champions Conference. They like their chances of advancing to NCAA team finals as long as they don't let horse get in the way like it did in week 11 against Springfield, where I think they posted a 55 on horse and it just, things did not go well. So as long as they can avoid that, they feel very confident in their chances. And their incoming class next year has a lot of pommel potential. So they're currently in a building year, but they think the future is going to be bright with everything all the talent they're getting next year. They've had a couple of injuries, lost some routines on high bar, floor, and vault, but they've managed to handle that adversity very well. And despite that, floor has actually been very consistent with around 65s and a big peak of a 69 2 weeks ago. And horse obviously has had its ups and downs between a 55, but if they can push above a 60 today, I think they're going to be feeling very good about their chances. And rings has been between a 63 and 65, and I think they're going to be able to hold on to that pretty well. Seems like a very strong event for Army. Vault has had a few ups and downs, but they've posted a high of 70.45. And so I think if they're staying above a 69, it's going to be hard to beat them in terms of William and Mary and Springfield. And parallel bars, they've been steady around a 63, so very consistent. And high bar, around a 61 to mid 63. And I think if they can get around a 62, they're going to be looking real good. And their best team score has been a 38.65. So that's good. If they can do that, they're going to be sitting very well. And we're just hoping that they can possibly surpass that and put the pressure on Navy. And speaking of which, I know you've got some information on them that we'd all like to hear.
Yeah, the defending ECA champions seem to be peaking at just the right time. Head coach Kip Simons told me last week, with all the COVID uncertainty, or no, last year, I'm wrong, but they were all really focused on hitting clean routines last year. This year, they're up in the ante, especially as the U.S. Elite program emphasizes increased difficulty in order to compete with international powerhouses. Navy is currently ranked number 8 in the nation and is coming off a win at USAG's last weekend, whereas previously mentioned, the same 4 teams competed. The midshipmen were the only team to top 400 at that meet, the team's first time surpassing that mark this season, and they also bested second-place finisher Army by 6 points. With increased difficulty comes lower hit percentages, but Coach Simon said his guys are finally hitting their stride, so they'll be looking for another score of 400 plus today. And if they do that, it's hard to imagine anyone but Navy standing atop that podium, especially since they're undefeated against ECAC teams this season. Navy's ranked highest nationally on floor and rings, both coming in at number 7. A wide glance at the team's consistency this season reflects those ups and downs previously mentioned, but they're peaking at 70 plus on floor and 67 on rings and P-bars. On vault, they're looking to push that 72 mark. High bar seems to be the team's most inconsistent, but it's capable of 65 plus. And they'll be starting on every male gymnast's favorite event, pommel horse. A score around 65 in that first rotation would be the perfect way for them to start this meet. Some athletes to look out for include all-arounder Isaiah Drake and floor star Sam Burr-Dagunta. But those aren't the only stars on this team by a long shot. At last weekend's meet, 5 different athletes won individual titles, while Drake finished second in the all-around. Again, these are guys competing against all 3 teams here and others. Of course, these guys are competing at an exceptionally high level while also training to serve their country. A great representation of that is ring standout Josh Williams, who is the first Navy gymnast nominated for the Neeson Emery Award, the Heisman of men's gymnastics, since 2012. And to top it all off, Navy has a new training and competition facility, Halsey Fieldhouse, that's lending even more to the excitement around this team. Well, now that we've met the teams, let's meet some of the athletes at the heart of these programs. Who are the guys to watch from Army and Springfield, Sam?
Yeah, so to start, he is a strong contort earlier this season, has been a little under the weather the past week, but we're hoping to see scores from him around the 13s for him. But then that's going to bring us to the big hitter for Springfield, Dominic Romallo. And he is a junior out of New Hampshire. He's very consistent in the all-around this entire season. He took a break, only did a few events last week so that he could turn it up this weekend. And coach says he's one of those kids that listens real well and absorbs everything like a sponge. He's got a contagious work ethic and really has come out of his shell in his first year of being team captain. And he's also a 4-time USAG All-American, a 3-time USAG Academic All-American. He's on the Dean's List. He's a student athlete leadership team representative at Springfield College. He's majoring in health science. His favorite event is parallel bars. And strange enough, he flew a plane before he drove a car. Sounds like something he would have been good for Air Force, but I think he made the right move choosing Springfield this year. And what do you have for us for Navy and William and Mary?
Yeah, definitely. So it was hard to pick 2 guys to highlight out of this stacked lineup, but sophomore floor star Sam Burr-Dagunta certainly deserves a shout out. Sam is ranked 6th nationally on floor with a season high of 14.6, the second best score in the nation on that event this season. He showed that skill off once again last weekend, winning the floor title at USAG's. Sam is a consistent 4-event athlete on floor, horse, vault, and high bar, but fun fact, he's also the self-proclaimed best hooper in the ECAC. Coach Simons told me that that's a bold statement, but he's definitely a baller. Sam is majoring in operations research and was a CGA All-American Scholar Athlete in 2021. And interestingly enough, Sam's parents, who are both college athletes, are named Sam and Patricia. Ring a bell, Sam?
What? Oh my gosh, this is destiny right now.
And you can't forget about freshman Isaiah Drake, who has been huge for Navy in the all-around in his first season. He's ranked number 5 in the nation in the all-around and finished second last week at USAGs with an 81.15. That's his second highest all-around total this season after he posted an 82.15 against Army in February. Pretty sure there's still some gas left in his tank to top the individual field today. Isaiah was a 4-year member of the U.S. Junior National Team and competed with the Senior National Team at the 2021 Winter Cup. He was the 2018 U.S. Junior All-Around Champion and Junior Olympic All-Around Champion and 2019 U.S. Junior Rings Champion and JO High Bar Champion. Drake has international experience representing the U.S. at Junior Pan Ams and Junior Worlds, and he currently owns the team's top scores on high bar and vault this season. William & Mary's other all-arounder this is junior Aiden Coy. He's on fire this season, scoring all of his career highs this year. As I previously mentioned, he's number 10 in the all-around and owns the team's top score on parallel bars, arguably his best event, where he was all ECAC the past 2 seasons. He's looking to make it a 3rd straight today. Coy is studying applied mathematics, and to be honest, I'm cringing at the sound of that major because it sounds so hard, but I'm sure just like his clean gymnastics, Coy makes it look easy. He's earned the William & Mary Provost Award and First Team All-American Scholar Athlete distinction from the CGA the past 2 years. He should be especially excited because the team is starting on parallel bars today. Again, his best event, and he's got the highest start value of the team, with a big 15-0 to look forward to later in that first rotation. And now we're moving on to senior standout Christian Marsh, who's no stranger to being exceptional at seemingly everything he does. Marsh is one of 4 seniors on the team and a team captain. He owns the top scores of the season on pommel horse and rings, but keep an eye on him on those events because it doesn't seem like he's peaked yet, especially on rings where he's looking to land a massive triple back dismount. The team is, of course, his priority, but at the very least, he's looking to make it back to NCAAs as an individual after qualifying on rings last season. By the way, if you want to talk about strength, Marsh was the state rings champion for 6 straight years. He's an all-around athlete in gymnastics and elsewhere, having previously dove and played tennis. And I want to tell you a quick story about Marsh. Coach Powell told me he took the LSAT at the team hotel the morning of the West Point Open earlier this season. Passed it, by the way, and then competed and made 2 event finals. Oh, and he's competing all around for the first time this year, since high school. So, Christian Marsh, one to watch today for William & Mary for sure.
Dang, that's crazy to be doing the all-around for the first time at this competition since high school?
No, this season. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Good.
But it's still pretty crazy. I mean, to go from not competing it for 3 seasons to competing it, all 6 events, like, give me some perspective on that, Sam.
I mean, that's tough. I mean, you can train just a couple events, but I mean, if maybe he's been training in the background on the other 3, and he's just finally getting to a place where he's going to make the lineup and feel like he's competitive. But beyond that, I'm just impressed that he's able to put it together, and he wants that all-around title, obviously. He's putting himself out there because he has his eyes set on a goal, and he wants it. So I'm excited to see how he does on those other events today.
Definitely. He's got some super high start values, but if we're talking about start values, Sam, oh my gosh, I was looking at the routines we're going to see today, which there's going to be a lot of great and difficult gymnastics, but Navy owns the start values at this meet. Their start value, they have on each event, they have an athlete who has one of, if not the highest start value of the competition. We've got 15.6s from Williams and Burdagunta on floor, a 15.6 start value on pommel horse from Clark. We got some 15.2s on vault. That's from a few different guys on different teams. We got some Cos 1.5s, some double fronts to look forward to. And then high bar, Cash Buskey is looking at a 15.5 start value. So we'll see if he's making that money today.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about throwing big skills and big routines is high risk, high reward. And gymnastics always comes down to hitting your routines. So we're going to see if they can feel the pressure of this competition, and if they can hold the standard that they've had all season when it becomes a little more intense and there's a lot more on the line. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that all pans out. And I always love seeing big, intense, fun, high-flying gymnastics. So the more of that I get to see, I think everyone's going to feel like they're getting quite the treat when they watch Navy.
Definitely. And I mean, William and Mary in Springfield, that, as we said before, is going to be the competition to watch within the competition.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and we have to point out that even though only one of these teams will advance, of course, the other team that does not advance, they can advance individuals depending on how high they finish and their scores today. So if obviously Springfield or William and Mary does not end up going to NCAAs, the athletes on the team that does not advance do have a chance to advance in the all-around or in the events, individual events. So it's not all a loss, but the team season will end here, one of them.
Yeah, it's going to really be fun to watch because I know Springfield's hungry and they want to make that NCAA team finals, and it's going to come down to it because they've got a lot of momentum, I feel like, coming their way this week. Training has been good all week, and it's going to be a heartbreaker in the very end. Whoever it ends up being, we're going to feel the pain if it's William and Mary that doesn't make it or Springfield, but fingers are crossed that everyone just has a good, healthy competition and we can see some great gymnastics today.
Yeah, definitely. And I'd love to talk about these teams. It's become a kind of a norm in gymnastics for these teams to have kind of like themes or, sayings, taglines that they're living by this season. So what are Army and Springfield's kind of themes this season that are driving them?
Well, I think Army is just trying to stay consistent. They know that the only way they can put the pressure on Navy is if they have some mistakes, and they just want to make sure that they qualify to team finals and that they can get some individual titles. So they're going to put a lot of stock into the individuals this year since they know that their potential is not super high to win, but they just want to make sure that they go out and they do gymnastics that they're proud of and they have fun. And then with Springfield, it's a very young team, and they've got a lot of energy. So I think we're going to be seeing them screaming in the crowds, having a great time, making sure everyone feels confident and uplifted by one another, and they're looking forward to having a wonderful competition. So just bringing the energy is what Springfield is all about.
Yeah, and just to touch on Navy and William and Mary's themes this season, as I said before, William and Mary is all about believing since it's a young squad. They just have slowly been building that confidence and believing in themselves as individuals, as a team, and that's really getting to a solid point now where they feel like they've hit their stride and can top Springfield today. And then Navy, I talked to Coach Kip Simons, and he told me that it's kind of all about the grit of the program, but specifically humility, growth, staying humble, competing, and he actually brought an interesting word to me that I wouldn't really equate for a military academy, but he said his captains brought the word love this season. They always say to love thy neighbor, and these guys are the brotherhood and stuff, but he said that they've really been very open and, comforting each other and treating everybody with love, respect, and showing that love to others. And that's been a huge theme for them this season. It kind of gave me chills. I was like, wow, that's so, I just did not expect that.
I'll be honest, I got some chills when you said that. We're all looking for some more love out here, and this world needs it. And so that's awesome that they're making that a priority and making that their motto for this year.
Definitely. Well, we've got the march in now, and we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll hop back in here once the meet starts after the national anthem. All right, and we are back. It's time to get this meet going. Starting out, we are going to have Navy on pommel horse, Army on vault, William and Mary on parallel bars, and Springfield on high bar. So, Sam, who's got the hardest test to start out?
It depends. I'd say horse or high bar is generally one of the hardest events to get started on. But if I'm throwing it back to both my NCAA team championships, we started on pommel horse just because we wanted to know right out the gate, are we going to have a good score on this event, or are we going to try playing catch up for the rest of the competition? And if you can come out of the gate hot on an event like pommel horse, it gives you such a momentum boost, and you can carry that on from event to event. And it seems like you can be unstoppable if you can start off with a great pommel horse rotation. So that's my personal opinion, is that could be the make or break event, especially after hearing that a team like Army, who struggled on pommel horse, lost to Springfield, and that could be a differentiating factor going into this competition. So I'd say pommel horse could potentially be the hardest event to get started on. But high bar is also a lot of nerves. You got some big releases, you got some tough skills, and getting momentum started on high bar can be a challenge. But it's always easier once you get that first event done, because your body's finally warm, you haven't cooled down from the march-in, from the warm-up, and then you can get that momentum going. So I'm going to say high bar might be the hardest, and pommel horse would be a close second.
Yeah, Kip from Navy told me that they kind of took a risk picking to start on pommel horse, but he basically took a look at, where they're probably going to be seated for NCAAs, and it basically looks like they're going to start on pommel horse. So they were like, we just need to keep consistent here. We need to get used to it. They did it last weekend as well. And they missed that first routine, which I believe was Sam Bertagunta. He's going to be starting there today. But then they came back and they were 29 of 30. So they're, working on it. They're going to try again today. It's a pretty good event for them. They did take a risk, but it's all about just getting used to it, getting comfortable starting there. And then it'll help them in a couple of weeks for NCAAs.
Yeah, that's actually smart and very forward thinking to get some practice at that, because you can practice it as much as you want at home at your home gym, but once you get out and you're in a competition setting, the atmosphere, the stress, your ability to just overthink while you're in a competition, this is where you really get to grow and challenge yourself. So I think it's a bold move for them to start, but also a very smart investment for them in the future.
Yeah, and definitely one thing that we want y'all to get involved in, viewers at home, is our Discord chat. So if you go on the Verdius website, you can get involved and get on the Verdius Discord. And then there you can chat with me, Sam, and other gymnastics fans. We'll also be doing a couple of giveaways throughout the meet. So be throwing your stick predictions in for each rotation 1 to 6, and then your total meet stick predictions for the whole meet. And the person who gets the number or hits that number on the head or gets close to it will be winning a t-shirt. We have some t-shirts from all 4 teams, so you can get a little swag, talk with me and Sam, and enjoy the meet while engaging with fellow gymnastics fans.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting some free swag. Am I allowed to make guesses out here?
You can throw yours in, Sam, but I feel like that's a bit of a conflict of interest.
I won't take the win if I do get it, but I'm gonna throw out my. All right, what's your first guess? We're just gonna. I don't want to skew anyone, but it is random. So how do you feel about everyone's stickability at this first rotation?
Stickability, first rotation. Pommel horse does pommel horse count for sticks?
Yeah, because I have seen people not stick. So you have to incorporate that, and that could be a big swing.
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe I'm gonna go 12. What are you thinking?
Dang. I'm gonna say 15. I'm feeling a little more confident that this first rotation, counting horse, but I'm gonna say that's a good starting point right there.
Yeah, I think that they're gonna have to get a little bit settled in. There's a lot of energy, so um and now we're getting started. Jacob Nauman
Wow.
just went on vault.
Yeah, he came out there very explosive with the cause full, very clean, strong start. I mean, starting on vault is always a great way to go, and yeah, it's going to get those nerves out because all you have to do is one skill. So I think that's a pretty smart move for Army right there. We've got Horse swinging, Sam Burgunda. He is
Yep, Sam.
killing this.
He's
Look at that extension. Does
oh,
not have
he's
very
moving.
much skew. Yeah, he's got just such a long body, great length. Oh, bit of a struggle on the dismount, but great routine. He's got a lot to be happy about. And we're going to take it on to high bar. Let's see what they've got over here.
I think we've got Jaden Lobstein. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah, he's cranking this high bar. He's very smooth. He's knocking his skills. I almost got that stick added to the total, but very clean routine. Seems like a great start for Springfield right now. High bar is a tough event, but they're doing it. Oh,
yeah.
He had to go redo the dismount, but you know, he made it clean. I don't think they were going to give him credit for it, but that is all good because he got the credit. 1 point deduction is way better than 1 point off and no credit for the skill. So smart thinking on the coach, and glad he was able to get up and finish that strong.
Yeah, next up on Pommel Horse, we're going to see Isaiah Drake for the first time today. Like we said earlier, Isaiah is the major all-around, top all-arounder for Navy. He's looking to post a top individual score as well as contributing to the team total, trying to get Navy over 400. So obviously Sam didn't have exactly the start that he wanted to have or that Navy wanted to have, but like Coach Kibb said last weekend, they had a little bit of struggle on that first routine and then hit 29 routines in a row to go 29 of 30. So all is not lost by any means.
Yeah, very good. We've got a little dip in the scoring right now, but I think I'm excited to see how all these teams are handling the situations because it seems like Navy did have a bit of a struggle to start on Pommel Horse, but all the other routines seem to have been very consistent from William and Mary, Springfield, and Army. And we're going to hone on over to Connor Kavanaugh. Cause half right there. Very nice showing. Glad to see him doing well. He's actually from Daggett's. I don't know if you guys know Tim Daggett, but he's an awesome commentator and great representative of USA Gymnastics back in the good old days. But wonderful to see that he's creating some great gymnasts at that facility and translating that all the way over to the college scene.
Oh. Alec went for that double pike on parallel bars. Just put his hand down, just missed that landing a little bit under-rotated, but still looked like a clean overall routine from him. We didn't catch the first part of it, but it looks like it was pretty solid from him for William and Mary.
Yeah, and we've got Isaiah Drake doing his thing on Pommel Horse right now. Strong start. He's got great rhythm throughout this whole set. Yeah, he's just slicing and dicing through this right now. Nerves do not seem to be an issue for him on this starting event.
I mean, why would they? He's got so much international experience. That's the pressure there. So he's very experienced for a freshman.
There you go. And he's bringing the energy, too. He's got the whole squad hyped back there, too. They know they need that, and that type of energy is just going to translate to the next competitor.
Yeah, let's do a little score check-in. We've got a 13.75 from Connor Kavanaugh from over on Vault for Army. And Steve Manilakis, also 13.65. So there's some good scores to start. Sam Burdagunta, 11.4 on that horse with that dismount struggle. But I'm sure Drake is about to post something that's going to make up for any score drop there.
Yeah, and 11-4 is really not that bad for counting a
No.
fall. That's very he minimized as many deductions as he possibly could, and I think that's going to be a very nice score to have, especially as the pressure gets more intense on Pommel Horse for the other teams.
Let's see who we've got next. We're going over to William & Mary's Aiden Coy. Again, this is his best event. He should post a routine with a start value about 15-0.
Oh, that's a big start. Yeah, and he is he's actually a Region 6 elite team member. So he back in the day was, I mean, he still is killing it, but he has a great history in the junior program. That was a wonderful Diom and a quarter. So that's, yeah, you can tell he's got confidence on this event. And yeah, he's a 2-time Provost Award recipient. First team All-American Scholar Athlete distinction. So he's a very well-rounded human being. He's not just a great athlete. He's got great accolades outside of the sport. And that is a wonderful routine for Aiden Kai right there.
Yeah, that double pike, just that little hop forward, but that looked clean. He had some really good lines in that routine.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we're checking in Jacob Nauman over Army, 14,050 on vault. That's Army's highest vault score today. And Drake got a 12.35 on horse.
All right. You know, I think I expected that to be a little bit higher, but
yeah,
you know, that is still a very very respectable score.
Now John Windeborn coming up on horse.
Very clean mount. Scissor full to the middle to a scissor full. They've just got great line and extension for Navy. It's awesome to see. Head coach has definitely been ingraining some good technique and control. Oh, and that's the unfortunate thing about Pommel Horse. He looks so calm, cool, and collected, but sometimes it just takes that split second. But it's going to be, this is where real adversity seems to, this is where you can build so much character, though. And I'm excited to see how John handles this because it can be tough. But, you know, I think he's a competitor and he's going to finish strong because he knows the team is counting on him to make sure that he minimizes as many deductions as possible. And he jumps up with great consistency. His circle does not seem to have changed at all. He's just as confident as he was at the beginning of the set. Throwing it up to the dismount. Very strong finish. So I think he's got a lot to be proud of for that one, despite having that mistake. We're going to swing it on over to high bar. Wonderful endo Healy to start. Springfield seems to have been cooking. We've been watching. We haven't seen too much of them, but in the corner, been able to see they haven't had very many mistakes. And huge layout to Tkachev right there. Straddle. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're seeing the high flying releases right now.
Is this Felix, I believe?
Oh, I think it is.
Oh.
With the half in, I thought we got another stick. We got another stick in the system. Hoping we can get closer to that 15. Oh my gosh. Did you see Sam Lee's to pelt right there? That was higher than ever. My gosh. He's got, oh man, Sam has some great control on this event right here.
Oh,
and he's got great extension. Yeah, he's got great extension on his front uprise.
All right, so we're getting some score updates on Springfield. They were coming in a little bit slow, but Felix went 13-1 on high bar. That's their best score so far in this rotation. So that's pretty solid.
Oh, yeah. And Ronan McQuillan is absolutely slaying this pommel horse routine.
Whoa. It's looking a little bit sped up for me. He's just going through it.
It is? Oh, but hey, there's a little fight on that, but yeah, he definitely pulled it off. I mean, he had great line and extension. I didn't see a single deduction throughout that whole routine up until that dismount. So he should score very well for that. And we've got Kyle Lucasco going, and he is flowing. Springfield has just been bringing the heat on high bar today. Great event to start off on. Looked like there was going to be a half NF out laid out, but tucked around a little bit. We'll see what they give him in terms of start value. But honestly, just starting on high bar, swinging from event to event, or swinging from guy to guy, carrying that momentum, hitting your sets, that's all you can ask for starting on such a difficult event.
Yes, Sam, what does it feel like? I mean, obviously, he wanted to go laid out on that dismount, and he tucked it around at the end. What does it feel like when you're flying through the air, doing that full twisting double layout or double twisting double layout? I mean, are you just like trying to just get your bearings? Or, I mean, does it sometimes you just got to tuck it in to make sure that you land on your feet?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess the fact that he knew what he had to do to put the dismount to his feet with minimal landing deduction just goes to show his level of mastery, because you do this skill so many times and you know generally where your body should be at certain points in the air, and you get a certain spatial awareness. And he just made a judgment call with that split second. That's gymnastics. Everything is just like a millisecond away from possibly being a stick or possibly being a fall, and he was able to make the right call so that he didn't count a fall and rather just tucked it around for that last little bit for a minimized deduction. So being able to see your risk management in just a heartbeats moment, that's really what gymnastics is all about.
Yeah, and just to touch on, Army has finished up over on vault, but I wanted to point out that Matthew Davis it looks like he did go for that roach, the handspring double front, and he got a 13.95. So pretty solid score. Yeah, 8.75 execution.
Yeah, he put that down. So glad to see him, and he's going to be making a strong case for that all-around spot, hoping to beat Isaiah Drake out. And we got Dan Clark swinging some great horse today. And honestly, Navy, they had a couple mistakes, but I think starting off on pommel horse is a tough thing to do. And if anything, they're going to learn from this as they move into NCAAs. But, this is a great moment for them to be coming out. Seems like the momentum's high. He's running back, cheering his team on. So this is going to be a big movement from here on out for Navy, because they got the big pressure event out of the way. Nerves aren't going to be quite as high going into rings, and you can just get loud and excited and get juiced for the next couple power events being rings and vault. So I'm excited to see what they do and how that pommel score is going to match up to all the other teams today.
All right, well, it seems we are at the end of rotation 1. We are going to take a little look at these team scores. Obviously, Navy just finished up on pommel horse, so they haven't gotten that final score in, but to be expected, I'm sure after we get that score from Dan Clark, they're going to probably be in the lead. So
we shall see. They did have a couple of mistakes, but it could be a little close. Pommels isn't that generally going to be your highest scoring event, but it looks like William and Mary was very consistent on parallel bars. So I'm happy to see them doing what they're doing and coming out with no falls, no mistakes. They did what they needed to do, and they're excited. So I think going into Springfield, they should be very happy with that, with their start on high bar, because that's a tough event.
Yeah, especially Felix putting down that 13-1 on high bar to start.
Yeah,
it seems like huge. They were all, I mean, they all went over 8.0 on execution, some nearing 9. It seemed like a pretty clean rotation for them, and probably all they basically could have asked for from starting on high bar.
Yeah, a 62.7, I think that's up there for Springfield's generally what they have been scoring all year. That is higher than they normally do. So very strong start for Springfield as they put the pressure on William and Mary. And obviously that's going to take us in. We have Navy's total score right there of a 61-2 to start on pommel horse. So, not in the lead, but I'm sure that'll change as we continue moving forward. But wonderful 13.65 from Dan Clark right there. So that
Oh
the
yeah,
anchor
that's
spot really paid off for Navy.
definitely. He's got, I believe he had a 15, let's see, Dan Clark had a 15.3 start value. He can go up to a 15.6, but that's huge. So the 13.65, great start from him. And he kind of wraps up that rotation on a high note. So Navy is currently in fourth, but again, there's different points that you're going to be getting on different events. So Army started on a high scoring event for vault. So these points, as the meet goes on, they're kind of even out, and we'll get a little bit more of an equal view of how these teams are competing. And then, of course, by the end, everybody will have done every event, and then we've got the winner. But so sometimes it can seem a little bit skewed to start.
Yeah, vault definitely is one of the higher scoring events in general, and you can tell Army really capitalized on that, coming in with the 68.15. So, it doesn't seem like it's not the best that they've had this season, but it seems like they might have had a couple steps, gone out of bounds. But I mean, I think they're going to be very happy starting off with the 68.15, and we'll see how the other teams compare to that vault score as the rotations go through.
Yeah, and William and Mary got a 65.7 and on parallel bars, and I mean, they're usually pushing 64, I believe. So, I mean, that's a really good parallel bars set for William and Mary.
Yeah,
and now
William
we're moving on to
Mary.
rotation. Yeah. Rotation 2, looks like we're getting warmed up on rotation 2. In rotation 2, we're going to have Springfield on floor, Navy on rings, Army on parallel bars, and William and Mary on high bar. So we're going to get floor started. That's going to be exciting. We're going to see quite a bit of high-flying tumbling passes. And then, of course, the strength event rings we're going to get a first look at today.
Yeah, no, floor, or Springfield's best event is floor. So I think that's going to be a standout rotation for them, and hoping that they can capitalize and make it a strong case because, like you said, William and Mary came off strong on parallel bars to start. So we're starting to see some competitive edge as these two teams go head to head, and they're really bringing the heat against one another.
Yeah, definitely. And just to highlight some routines that we want to look out for, obviously we'll be popping in to some of these views, but Army, Matthew Davis has a 14.8 start value, or typically tries to get around there for parallel bars. High bar, Sam Lee for William and Mary. Josh Williams and Alex Brown for Navy on still rings. Those are their strength guys. And then Jakari Williams and Andre Butler on floor for Springfield. They'll probably be a little bit later in the lineup, but they can put together some, like you said, Springfield is very good on floor, and they can put together some big tumbling.
Yeah, you can tell Timothy Templeton just stick after stick on this floor set. He's looking very consistent, rock solid. Front full to the Branny, 1/10 hop. He is just minimizing as much deduction as possible. And it seems like that momentum from high bar is really carrying it over. Going into the dismount. Back 2.5. We got the judge in the way up, but I think he stuck it. He looked like I didn't see much movement after that. The fact that he was able to stay in that judge's profile means that was a great landing. So that's going to be a great start for Springfield, and congrats to Timothy Templeton for absolutely slaying it as the start-off guy.
Oh, well, I'm still curious about how we're going to count that for that stick competition, because is it going to count and get closer to your 15, or are we going to get closer to my 12, or somebody else in the chat getting the proper number? I don't know how we're going to count that specific one since the judge was there.
I think the scores will show what we've got to see, what we need to see. So we'll have production tell us what we need, what's happening on that end.
Somebody said 13 sticks for that first rotation. Also, just a reminder, we don't have the answer for the first rotation, but we will come back towards the end of the meet and hand out the winners or let everybody know the winners. But for the second rotation, throw your stick predictions into the chat on Discord. If you haven't gotten into Discord yet, go to vertius.com and you can join the Discord there and come and chat with us. Oh, only 3 sticks in rotation 1. I don't think anybody was expecting that.
I'm going to need a replay on that one.
Well, we didn't have floor, so that comes, a lot of sticks come with floor since they do a lot of different passes. So I'm thinking we're going to get a little bit higher on the sticks numbers with these rotations with floor.
Yeah, and what was Zachary Mitchell right there, cleaning up a nice parallel bar rotation right there. Strong start, and you can tell
double pike.
Yeah, very high level gymnastics.
Oh, Jakari Williams with that massive double front over on floor.
Wow.
He did do it tucked. He can do it piked. But he did it tucked today, but I mean, I think that choice played in his favor because it was solid.
Yeah, we got Aiden Kai up on William and Mary. He's got some very interesting releases, and he is just holding nothing back as he's throwing these skills. Let's see how he finishes up. Got the flying giant. He's cranking up into the dismount. Oh my gosh, that is an aggressive tap. And there's one of the sticks we've been looking for. Man, William and Mary is bringing the heat right now. So love to see them getting juiced and carrying that momentum. And we got Isaiah Drake for Navy. I think we missed a little bit of his strength, but this man is rock solid. Definitely one of his best events. And as you can tell, he can swing so smoothly. He's got his press handstand. Take a little second before he does a couple giants into his dismount. He's got great control in that handstand. Really showing a dominant. Oh, wow. It looked like he got caught up on that ring for that tuck double-double, but nothing but smiles as he walks away. Things like that happen. He just needs to throw the rings a little bit more, but glad he's all right. Glad he put it on his feet and didn't take a fall, because that's going to be a very high scoring score for Navy on the rings. And now we have
that double. You're trying to get that extra twist in there coming off the rings when you're literally still, as they say. That's so difficult, but they make it look really easy. Even when he had that little grasp, little stickiness on the rings, I guess you could say, where it didn't seem like they wanted to part with him.
No, they did not. But now we've got JoJo going up on parallel bars, and he's very talented. He's going to be doing all around today, which he hasn't done since the beginning of the season, but head coach said he wants to give JoJo a chance to get an all-around placement, and today's going to be a big day for him, and it seems like it's going really well as he finishes up on parallel bars. So very happy to see him going, and look at that excitement. Bring that energy. Keep it going for the next guy. And we've got Dominic Ramalho. He is.
That double layout was beautiful.
Oh yeah, great height on that double front. This is powerful gymnastics right here. Nice tuck full. Yeah, you can tell he's trying to show every little bit off into the triple Russian, getting his non-acro done. Yeah, Dominic is trying to make a case for the event title for this event. Strong layout, keeping it very clean. Oh, there you go, the Rudy. Yeah, he is just showing great control. You can tell this man has put in the work, put in the hours, and now he finally gets to put on a show for everyone.
And just a little score update for Springfield on floor. Obviously, Dominic going right now. And then Jakari Williams already went. He started out, his start value ended up being a 15-1, scored a 13-5. That's leading floor now. And then, of course, Tim Templeton with a 13-3 right behind Jakari. So Dominic, I'm thinking based off of what we saw, he's going to be going ahead or maybe right around Jakari and Tim's score, because it was very clean. So, I mean, Jakari does have the upper hand with the difficulty, above Tim and Dominic, it seems.
Yeah, and Darren Lutchman, that was a very impressive Maltese right there. Such a strong character to be able to throw that. We haven't seen too many of that today, but Navy is definitely up there for their start value on rings. So they're going to be doing the hard strength skills, and no exception for Lutchman here today. Got the Yamawaki sequence. He's through the hard part now. He just needs to stay composed and get through his swing elements. Half in, half out, and there's another stick. Navy is just carrying that momentum from pommel horse to ring. So excited to see them doing well. We got Steve over on parallel bars right now, finishing up. Oh, that one hurt my Achilles a little bit watching that. Rebounded out of that double pike, but that's all right. Coach is picking him up. Next guy's gonna bounce back, and they've been doing very well on parallel bars, so I don't think it's gonna be too detrimental. But I know he was hoping for a little bit more.
And we've got Andre Butler coming up right here for Springfield on floor.
Yeah, that was a great front full double front. An interesting look on that handspring into it. He had like somewhat of a round off style into it, but some awesome flair that I haven't seen before.
Oh, nice double Arabian. Just slipped, his feet slipped out from under him.
That's all right. It's about minimizing deductions and not letting it get in your head, because that's a wonderful 2.5, and he's transitioning out of it well. You got to fight for every 10th. And look at that. You get another look into a Randy. This is some high-level difficulty stuff right here. There's a shame about that Arabian double front, but, man, I think this is still going to score so well.
And I think we got a Rudy to end.
Front double full. That was awesome. And honestly, I'm going to need to ask him for some pointers on how he does that handspring, because I like the way it sets him up into those passes. And I think there's a lot of people that could learn from him. Oh, Christian Marchand from William & Mary on high bar.
Yeah, that double back was huge. He went above the bar, which, I mean, just the height, the amplitude on that dismount after you're probably wiped from the rest of that routine is very impressive.
Oh, yeah. We've got Alexander Brown up on the still rings. Let's see what kind of strength he's got for us today. Oh, the back upright Maltese. Wonderful position, too. Nakayama cross. Yeah, we're seeing the big skills being done right now.
Oh, yeah. Alex Brown, Josh Williams, these are going to be some of the best, if not the best, still rings routines you're going to see all competition.
Wow, look at that straight planche, too. He's got a wealth of strength that he's showing off for us today. Into a very nice giant. Into another planche. Wow, hold on. Alexander Brown is just bringing the strength right now. This is some elite level difficulty right here. And I'm exhausted just watching him. And great dismount. Half in, half out laid out. That is going to score very well for Navy. And they're going to be pumped about that one.
That's going to be a big score, and we do have some good scores from Navy already on rings. Darren Lutchman scored a 13.55. Behind him, Cash Buskey, 13.3. Isaiah Drake with a 13.25. And then Brown almost certainly going to get near the top of those ring standings after that elite level routine.
And now we've got Sam Lee on high bar. Huge laid out Tkachev right there. Nice straddle Tkachev. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was the 2021 ECAC Rookie of the Year last year, and he seems to be only building off that as he's going into this competition this year. Let's see how he finishes up. Double stick. Oh, my gosh. I think he's making a strong case for the event title on high bar today.
Yeah, we'll have to see. He can get up to 14.2 start values, usually where he's sitting around that mark. So we'll see what his score comes in at. Let's look at the other high bar scores for William & Mary. Alec Alex Alec Kuzminchuk 12.85, Aiden Coy 12.35, Christian Marsh 12.25, and Connor Bowman 11.15. So they're putting up some solid scores on high bar.
Yeah, that they are. We've got Kramer. He's from North Shore Gymnastics Association originally, and he's the 2022 Floor Exercise USAG All-American, and he's been on the Dean's List for 3 years in a row. So this man is very smart and well-rounded, as well as doing great things for Springfield on floor today.
Yeah, and let's see. I believe we're rounding out this second rotation. We might have one or two more routines to go. Let's check in on that still ring score for Alexander Brown, 13.75 to jump into first on rings.
Yeah, that is huge right there. That's gonna be tough to beat, but I'm excited to see if anyone's up for the challenge, because we'll see. We've got the anchor, Josh Williams, going up now. Let's see if he's got a little bit more to offer, because normally great knowledge of the code and just great strength to be able to do it in general. Very good control on his swing to handstands. Zero wobbliness going on in there. It's time for the dismount. This could make a strong case against Alexander Brown, and he sticks it too. So I'm curious to see how that's going to play out. That is going to be a very close call for first place.
All right, so that marks the end of rotation 2. Of course, we've got some final scores that are going to have to pop in, but right now, Army is holding strong with a 135.25, and then Springfield's in a second, back at 127.3, and then of course William and Mary 127.5, Springfield 127.3. We talked about how close they're going to be. Ooh. 2 rotations in, that's tight.
Oh yeah, that's really, really close. And that's just going to make this for an even more exciting day as we check in event to event. And we're going to take a look into, let's maybe go back to the rings. I'm curious to see when that score comes in. What
Josh
the standings
Williams
are like on that event.
14-1 on rings.
Yep, so he took Brown out. But I think that was definitely worth it. That was a very high-level routine. And, with that stuck landing, anchoring it off, that's going to set Navy up well for the rest of this competition.
Yeah, with that score, Navy jumps into second after 2 rotations. Army's still with the lead. Navy at 129.15. And then, of course, like we said, William and Mary, Springfield tight for third and fourth. Let's talk about Army and their rotation on parallel bars. What happened with Matthew Davis? He got a 13.8. Matthew Davis is one of Army's best parallel bars workers, if not the best. And he's currently sitting in second on that event, just behind Sam Lee, who's holding strong from that first rotation where he scored a 13.9. And then, of course, Zach Mitchell also posted a strong score for Army, 13.75. And the guys overall for Army on parallel bars, they had a really strong rotation. They are looking pretty impressive after 2 rotations.
Yeah, I think they just had that one mistake, but I know Matt Davis, one of his best events is parallel bars, so happy to see him coming out with that 9-0 execution. Meant he was very clean, and he put on the performance that he knew he was capable of doing, and also going to continue making a strong case for himself in this all-around. And he's hoping to beat Isaiah Drake. And I think so far, both have been putting on very strong performances. But we have 4 more rotations of gymnastics to see how that's going to play out.
And then, of course, we had Springfield start us off on floor. We had a few big routines. Their best came from Jakari Williams, 13.5, and Tim Templeton behind him with a 13.3. Andre Butler seemed to have a little bit of difficulty with the execution of his routine. Usually he can post some strong difficulty and execute it really well. Just wasn't there completely today, but he still posted an 11.75, contributing to that team total, of course.
Yeah, I think, a 64.6, I think that's a very strong score for Springfield today. And, it's going to be interesting as they transition to horse. This is going to be their make or break event. They're very strong on it, but can they handle the pressure and hit this rotation and put the pressure on to William and Mary as they transition to their next event?
And just a reminder, we are having a chat in the Discord. Sam and I are obviously bouncing back and forth between the broadcast and seeing what y'all are talking about in the Discord. I think we'll get the update on the second rotation sticks here soon, but make sure to drop your predictions for rotation 3 sticks. And rotation 3 we're warming up on right now, but we're going to see William and Mary on floor, Springfield on horse, Navy on vault, and Army on high bar. So we've got a lot of exciting gymnastics still left as we head into this third rotation, about halfway through the meet. We're nearing the halfway point. Can you believe that we're nearing the halfway point already?
Yeah, honestly, time's flying by way too fast, and we're seeing some great gymnastics. I think it's going to be exciting to watch Dominic Romalo on for Springfield going up on this event. He's going to be their leadoff guy, and that just goes to show that they put their trust in this all-arounder to get the ball rolling in the right direction on such a difficult event. And oh my gosh, I don't know what happened there. Sometimes your hand just slips, but it looked like he was swinging with such confidence right there.
Yeah.
Definitely a shame to see. That'll be a little bit of a dent to his all-around score, but this man has been rock solid all year. So let's see how he finishes up, because he's got to make sure that he puts together a strong finishing performance for the rest of this event, because he's got to do this one for the team.
I believe JoJo is going on, Joseph Busselmeyer going on high bar.
Yeah, and he's a great high bar worker. He's got great line, great length. It's just adding on to that all-around potential for him. It's going to be interesting to see. We've got, Dominic, Joseph, Matt Davis, and Isaiah Drake. We've got some great all-arounders to be keeping our eye on throughout this whole competition. And it's nice to see Dominic finishing off strong on that pommel horse routine, not incurring another fall. That just, he's got a strong head, or strong mentality as he finished that routine, because it can be a little nerve-wracking after a fall. As long as you stay on the positive mindset, then you're going to be easy. But when you make mistakes, sometimes it's easy to get in your head and you cramp up and you get tight and you get fear motivated. But no, not Dominic. This guy's strong. He's consistent, and he's not gonna let fear get in the way. Josh Williams.
Oh, sorry, Sam, continue.
Oh, yeah, Josh Williams just did a wonderful cause full right there to keep Navy's momentum growing on vault.
Yeah, and later in this rotation, I believe we'll be seeing cause 1.5 or Driggs from Isaiah Drake. That's one of their bigger vaults, so we're looking forward to hopefully seeing that one.
Oh, yeah. We got Josh Williams going. Oh, very clean cause full right there. Yeah, that was impressive. Just small hop, very clean pre-flight. That was awesome to see. Looks like judges are taking stock of all the scores.
Dominic Romalo, pommel horse score just came in 10.05.
Oh yeah, that's not what he wanted, but let's see how they bounce back.
All right, who do we have up next on floor? I think Aiden Coy already went. Oh, we got Jaden Lobstein for Springfield up on horse right now.
Oh, that was a very nice scissor handstand right there. Great control, had zero momentum. Because if you come back down at all, you can lose credit or have a large deduction. But that's a very tough skill. And he's got great length, great extension. The taller gymnasts generally seem to have a little bit more advantage on pommel horse, and Jaden is taking advantage of that. He's got a very clean, consistent swing. The handstand dismount was very smooth all the way through. So I think that's going to play very well for Springfield as they need to get the ball rolling in the right direction and pick up from where Dominic left off.
And Lobstein or Jaden, he's a Cali boy like you, Sam.
Oh, no wonder he looks so calm, cool, and collected.
He's also a freshman. He's from Head Over Heels, which I kind of really like that name.
Yeah,
that's the club
very
name.
appropriate. Very appropriate club gymnastics name right there.
They've got a lot of women's elite stars as well coming up through the ranks in the junior and senior women's programs.
Mm-hmm. And Connor Van Loo. Oh
Ooh.
my gosh. Yuchenko double full stuck. Did not move an inch on that one. That was gorgeous to see. And that's going to score extremely well. I feel like everything is going in Navy's favor on this vault rotation.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're excited about that. A little bit slow start on pommel horse.
But man, yeah, they picked it up on rings and vault.
Yeah. Especially on rings. I'm still reeling from the Josh Williams rings routine.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Just the hype that the whole team had when he stuck that dismount. That's why we love watching men's gymnastics. It's just such a team sport, despite everyone thinking that gymnastics could generally be an individual sport. But once you have everyone on your side, you got people you grind with day in, day out, it just creates a bond. And just being a part of a team is such a rewarding experience. And it's really what makes NCAA just so exciting to watch.
Connor Van Loo, vault score is in 14.55 to easily jump into the lead.
Awesome. Yeah, that's huge. And we have Felix Kreidemann going on pommel horse, and he had a wonderful, I believe it was a parallel bar routine, and he seems to be doing very well on pommel horse right now. Back double full. Oh, and I think it was a back full and then a back double full. And the dismount, 2.5, very clean. I think he's going to be very happy with that one. William and Mary seems, I mean, they're going to end up scoring higher than Springfield just based on the fact that Flora generally will score higher than pommel horse. But we'll see how that all balances out on the next rotation as William and Mary moves to pommel horse and Springfield
and Isaiah
moves to
Drake
rings.
Coming up right here, that caused 1.5, just a step. It looked like he might have gone over the line, so he might get a little neutral deduction there. We will see once the score comes up.
Yeah, but that start value for doing the cause 1.5 will definitely balance out. You're not going to see too many 5-2 vaults being done today, so he's standing out with just that start value alone. We've got Juan Gomez going on pommel horse, 4th up in the rotation. I love the way he does his one pommel circles. He puts both hands in the under grip position. It's a lot like Max Whitlock from Great Britain.
Oh, anytime you compare to Max Whitlock, that's a pretty exceptional comparison.
Yeah. And he's going to get up on that dismount. Looks like he had a little bit of a fight, but, you know, he got through that handstand.
How hard is it, Sam, for you to swing? Obviously, at first, you got to hit that scissor sequence usually to mount pommel horse. Then you're swinging the circles, you know, doing a lot of upper body, and then having to get back up to handstand to dismount. How hard is that once your muscles are just probably exhausted?
Yeah, well, when you're competing, the dismount is generally the hard. It's usually the first skill and the last skill that are hardest on pommel horse. Because the start, you're just trying to get the momentum in the right direction. And once you get your circle going and you can find a consistent rhythm, then the rest of your routine can flow. But as you get more fatigued, you're in the stress of competition, things are getting tighter because you're anticipating the end. Dismounts can start to be a little bit more of a struggle. But, you know, being able to throw that up at the very end, it's a different type of circle than most of the rest of the routine. And so it makes it a bit more of a challenge. But I think he seemed to handle that very well. He didn't get, you know, wasn't flawless, but hey, he got it up. He got the credit and just a couple tenths of deduction. And that's nothing you can ever really worry about.
Right now on the floor, we've got 2021 ECAC Rookie of the Year. He's also been Specialist of the Week before, Sam Lee.
Yeah, Sam Lee he's having a great day so far. It's just been very exciting to watch as well. He's got great control, great composure. You can tell he's very well rehearsed and very prepared for this competition today.
And Sam owns the team's highest score, I believe, on floor this season.
Yeah, he's going
definitely one of their top floor workers.
Yeah, you can tell he's going for the stick on every single pass. Triple full to the... Would you give that a stick? I would give him a stick for that one.
I'd give it a stick too,
yeah.
for sure. I mean, come on, even if they're bent over, even if they had to really work to get it around, if they stick, they stick, I think.
Oh, yeah. You just can't have your feet move, but that's awesome. The sticks are going up as people get more comfortable throughout these rotations. And now we're over to Calvin Kingshill on high bar for Army. He's flying through this set. There's no criticism. This man is just doing what he's doing. Nice flying giant. Stalled her. And he's going to bring it home. What is he going to throw for us today? Half in, half out, tucked. Another stick. You can tell that there is an energy in the arena right now. And people are trying to put on the best that they got. And this is where things start really spicing up for everyone in the competition.
And remember, guys, throw your stick predictions into the Vertius Discord, and you'll have a chance to win some free merch, free gear from these 4 teams. Each team contributed some t-shirts, so we're excited to send those out to the stick prediction winners. And then, of course, we'll do a total stick predictions. You can go ahead and start, but I would suggest maybe throwing the total stick predictions like in during the 5th rotation or so. We don't need any cheating going on, of course. Don't throw them in after the whole meet is over, but throw your stick predictions in, and then the overall winner will probably get maybe a couple t-shirts. We'll see. All right, so it looks like we're going to have Isaiah Drake up next on parallel bars. Or we're moving into actually rotation 3, it seems.
Yeah. I'm curious, we got Will Harrington. Was he just warming up, or was he doing his routine right there?
I think we've got like a little bit of in between. I think we might have it. There we go.
Yeah. Floor's got a lot of... Floor takes a little while to get through, so... I think Navy's just getting ahead of schedule, trying to get the parallel bars chalked up the way they want while they have a little bit of rest time. Because, it can really come down to it. Getting your grip ready and prepared before the rotation, that can be a big advantage. But Will seems to be handling being the only guy competing on the floor right now. Can that sometimes be a stressful situation? Everyone else is done and all eyes are on you. But Will seems to be going through. Nice back full.
On that full.
Yeah. He's getting this going. He wants everyone to watch him do everything he can to be his best right now. The pressure is just fueling him. An awesome half in, half out dismount to finish. That is huge. And William and Mary just had a great floor rotation. However, I think, do we have a 6th guy going on for William and Mary on...
Yeah, I think we might have one more guy going for William and Mary. I don't think we've seen Christian Marsh yet, so I believe we will be seeing him in just a minute.
Yeah, he's probably doing the all-around, and he's just going to be that 6th guy and not a counting score for the team on this event, if I'm assuming correctly.
Yes, I do not believe so. I think it'll be just for that all-around score, but we will be seeing in just a sec. And of course, we did mention in the pregame show, if you weren't tuned in just yet, Christian Marsh, first time this season, he's doing the all-around first time since high school. So he's been building to this moment. And really smart guy, actually just recently got into, I believe, William and Mary Law School. Head coach Mike told me. So passed the LSAT earlier this season, right ahead of the West Point Open, same day of the West Point Open. So he's a talented athlete, smart, and very exceptional student.
Yeah, we had Matt Davis looked like he finished off with a very impressive high bar routine. Didn't get to see the full thing, but curious to see how that's going to play into his all-around score today.
And here we go with
That,
Christian Marsh.
huge double front to start. Dang, look at that control.
You just love to
And
see
showing
these guys.
off that strength. You don't see very many guys doing Malteses on the floor, and that's a great non-acro to have in your routine and really separates yourself from the other guys. I'm honestly impressed. It kind of blows my mind that they're not counting this score right here, but that just goes to show the depth of William and Mary on this event.
Yeah, Maltese, we talk about the Malteses, how they're kind of rare for the guys, even though obviously they're exceptional skills to watch, very difficult skills, non-acro skills. Of course, Stanford's Riley Luce, also a Maltese man, so we'll be seeing some more of those at NCAAs, and I'm sure Christian will hope to be there getting to perform that skill in 2 weeks.
I think so. He's making a strong case for himself, and the team themselves are also making a strong case. So we're going to see how they can handle moving on to Pommel Horse after, and we'll compare scores between them and Springfield, because that's going to be the close one to watch.
All right, so that is the end of rotation 3. Oh my gosh, Sam, we're halfway through. Can you believe it?
Yeah, that is wild.
And just a quick update on these teams. So Navy has jumped into first place position with a 199.55. Close behind is Army, 198.45. William and Mary, after that floor rotation, 190.8. And then, of course, Springfield was on Pommel Horse, a little bit lower scoring event, so they're coming in at a 188.3, but it's still close. Don't get me wrong. This is still a very close competition between Springfield and William & Mary and Navy and Army. We're just getting lots of great gymnastics today.
I mean, Springfield and William & Mary were pretty much tied going into this rotation. The fact that Springfield's only 2 points down from being on Pommel Horse, that's a very strong case for them to keep this momentum going forward. And they're really putting the pressure on William and Mary with that rotation right there.
Yeah, let's check in on those Pommel Horse scores from Springfield. Colton O'Brien posted the best horse score for Springfield. He started out with a 15.0 start value, scored a 13.6.
Very impressive. Yeah, they definitely needed that. It wasn't the strongest start for Dominic, but proud to see that the whole team rallied behind him and just put on a good showing after that, because a 61 is it's actually a lot better. We were hoping that they just stayed above a 60 going into today's competition on horse. So the fact that they're at a 61, that's very impressive, and I think they should be very happy and proud about that, because that's still a very consistent score compared to what they've done all season.
Yeah, and over on floor exercise, of course, William & Mary had a solid rotation there, and then Christian Marsh, who went last, and his total does not count towards the team total. That was a 13.05 is what Christian Marsh put down on floor.
Yeah. Oh, man, I bet they're wishing they had him in the lineup right now, but nonetheless, they still put together, a 63.3. That's an awesome score for floor. So they definitely brought the heat, and let's see if they could carry that momentum on the Pommel Horse. And yeah, there's Navy's score. That was just a huge rotation for them on vaults. Great to see. Great to see these 5-2 vaults being done by William and Mary, or by Navy. We got Baker and Drake that just did some huge gymnastics, and they scored very well. So happy to see that that's going on. And they do, it's a close call right now because they've both done vaults. Army's just barely behind Navy. Vault's generally the highest scoring event. And so they're neck and neck. Army is making a very strong case for themselves right now. And we'll see how they handle it, because they're going to be going into pommel horse soon, and that's going to be the differentiating factor, is how they score on that event.
Yeah, and just to update you, those 15-2 start value vaults from Drake and Nehemiah Baker. Drake scored a 14.15. He's currently sitting second on vault. And then Nehemiah Baker, 13.75, currently sitting in eighth. Both hitting those super difficult vaults. We love to see some elite level vaults at the collegiate level.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, we got some hair on Colton O'Brien. Did you see that mane? Or I think maybe, I forget who that was. Who was that?
I did not. Man, I was looking at the wrong screen. I was watching pommel horse over there, but I'm trying to find out who's got the best hair of the competition, too.
I think it's whoever I just saw. I can't pinpoint exactly who it was, but he was warming up, so we'll see him on rings in a minute. It might have been actually Steve Mandalakis. I mean, it looked like, we're talking about like Fabio. Or no, that's Army. Not Stephen Manalakis. We're going over on rings. I don't know who that was. Maybe Dave Handren. We gotta see.
We'll keep our eye out for that gorgeous mane. We got Isaiah Drake warming up. I'm pretty sure he'll probably end up being their anchor.
Yeah, so this rotation 4, we got Springfield on rings, Navy on P-bars, William & Mary on pommel horse, and Army on floor.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this showdown goes of Navy on parallel bars and Army on floor, because Army can post some big scores on floor. They're they peaked with a 69 a couple weeks ago. So if they can do that again, I'm sure they can bridge this gap to Navy if they can pull something off like that.
Yeah, and of course we've got Aiden Coy starting William & Mary off on pommel horse. This pommel horse rotation is going to be pivotal if William & Mary wants to stay close with Springfield. The two teams are pretty neck and neck right now, so they want to keep it clean and hit these sets.
Yeah, and he's cruising through. Look at the aggression on that dismount. He circled with intention right there. He knew he wasn't coming off, and he knew he's going to style that dismount up. It's a very strong start for William & Mary. They're going to keep that moving on to the next guy. Looks like Carter just hit a good ring set for Springfield. We're going to move on to Giovanni on parallel bars for Navy. Nice back upright handstand. He's just got a great line. Wow, look at the locked arms on that peach handstand. He is hitting his handstands on that giant as well. Good fight on that Diamidov. Wonderful composure. Nice studs. Great extension on that front upright, not incurring a deduction there. Yeah, he's coming up calm, cool, and collected as well. I wonder if he's got some California blood in him. Double pike. Got the hands down, but wow, he definitely was showing some good control throughout that routine and definitely was able to handle some adversity, but definitely not the start that they were hoping to have. But that could open the door for Army over here on floor.
And of course, you mentioned California maybe. Nope, he's from Wisconsin. Actually trained at Salto, where I believe Danelle Wittenberg, Marvin Kimball trained.
Yeah, well, and the Hahn brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So very cool to have another gymnast from that gym. Actually, nope, sorry. Let me take that back. They were at Swiss Turner's, I believe.
Oh, there you go. You know the S's.
Yeah, they got me, but they were in the Midwest.
But I do think Danelle Wittenberg's still training there, so.
That he is.
In good company.
Yeah, oh, most definitely. We got Juan Gomez on rings. Oh, that is an awesome straight planche. Lower Maltese. Holding those for the perfect amount of time. That is right to the position. You know, some people they'll get up there and then they'll continue moving to finish the position. They'll think they're holding it and they won't, but no, not Juan Gomez. He is flying through this too. Great control
And
on that
rings
handstand.
and parallel bars are both for people that might not be as familiar with these events at home. You want to get these holds. You want to hold and show that control for a long time. These are some upper body events where you want to have those strength holds. And nice. Was that a stick from one?
Oh, that was a stick. That was definitely a stick. They are just continuing as the momentum builds in this competition. And I think he's going to score very well. Springfield is making a very strong case on rings today. But it seems like William and Mary also are posting some good scores on pommel horse.
And I just had somebody, I saw somebody, ooh.
Vishal definitely, he's got great work, but, you know, I think he might have gotten a little ahead of himself on that peach half, which is a very difficult skill. So this is part of high risk, high reward. And he's staying composed throughout the rest of this routine, but oh, I think his grip just wasn't there on the end of the bars.
We just got a stick prediction for this rotation of 21. What do you think, Sam?
Whew. I mean, hey, I think that's ambitious, but I definitely think that the momentum in this arena is going in that direction. I think it's increasing, but it might be a little too much for me.
Oh,
We just had, yeah, a little error on William and Mary's side, but you know, I think they could match up with Springfield right now on pommel horse, so they're allowed to have a couple mistakes. And it's just gonna be how can they minimize their deductions. Malcolm seems like he's a strong competitor. Looked like he just had a hand slip, and you know, those happen from time to time. As long as you can stay calm, cool, and collected and be composed throughout the rest of your horse set, get that heart rate back down a little bit, and put on the performance that you need, that your team's needing you to put on. And it looks like he's having no problem getting back in there. Great circles in the middle.
Somebody did ask in the chat, anyone know when the last time Springfield made NCAAs? I believe, Sam, did we confirm this? I don't think Springfield has ever made NCAAs as a team.
They have not, no. So I think a lot of the public's going to be cheering on the underdogs that haven't ever done it today. So that's the big thing we're looking for, is how can they battle William and Mary to possibly swing that spot to make it for the first time in their program's career.
And up next on rings, we've got Juan Gomez from Springfield. He's got one of the highest start values for Springfield on this event. If he hits all of his skills, it's around a 14.3 start value, so it's pretty big. Dave Handren still to go, can put up a start value of 14.5. So we've got some difficulty from these guys.
Yeah, excited to see how that all pans out.
He looks like he's got some good hair, but I'm waiting for. I think it was Dave Handren with the Fabio hair.
Oh, has he gone yet?
I don't think so. Let me check.
All
Let me
right.
get a little score update in here. Nope, has not gone yet. By the way,
all right, there we go.
No, let's see. Maybe. I don't know.
No.
Carter
Well,
Cacciardo just went on rings 12.25, and then of course we got Juan Gomez coming up right now. We're taking a little bit of time on that score, but we do have it, so he should be going any second now. Malcolm Baytop, just that fall made him score a 10.35 on pommel horse, and Juan Gomez actually has already gone. I'm sorry, 13.0 for Juan Gomez.
That is a wonderful score for rings right there. Yeah, he had some great strength positions. And yeah, he had that stuck dismount, so that's going to play well for him. Springfield's definitely ramping it up right now. Wonderful back uprise Maltese. Great strength.
And this is actually Noah Deliwal. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Oh, beautiful series right there.
Yeah, great swings in it for his Yamawakis. The press to handstand is great control. Oh no! Definitely a rough go. Just didn't quite lock out that handstand the way he needed to. Got a little bit loose, but there he goes. He got the credit for it. He fought back and shows his persistence. Half in a foul. Oh, and he touched down. Yeah, that's gonna hurt a little bit for Springfield, but I hope he can bounce back and that his team will be able to rally behind their guy, pick him up, and keep cheering and motivating, because he definitely has so much potential on that event, and he's worked hard, and he needs to make sure that he keeps his head in the right place moving forward throughout this whole competition, because they need him. He's a key player for them.
Navy over on parallel bars, little score update. Giovanni Gambatese, 12.55. Vishal Mendava, 12.3. And then, of course, Caleb Hickey just finished up, so we'll see his score come in soon. And then, of course, next up we got Dan Clark, I believe, for Navy.
Yeah, and then we have, let's pan over to Army and see their scores that they've got for us today, because we haven't seen enough.
We haven't checked in on Army on floor.
Yeah, some very good scores. They're getting real close to those 13s. They're being very consistent, and we're going to be heading over, I think this is Matt Davis. We're waiting for a Steve score to come in. But we got Christian Marsh.
Christian Marsh. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he's doing his scissor sequence with a lot of confidence. Now time for the circles. Time to find that rhythm. Great Magyar. Yeah, he's flowing through this right now.
Season. Yeah, all ECAC last season on this event, and rings, of course, and one other, I believe, parallel bars.
Wow, rock solid. And look at that celebration. He's bringing the juice for William and Mary right now. He's definitely pumped after that routine. I mean, he's going to be doing so well in the all-around, especially with that pommel horse score. That's going to bump him up quite a bit. Awesome to see him.
We haven't checked in on the all-around, actually, after 4 rotations, just to give a little update, or obviously we're in the 4th rotation. Jojo Bolsemeyer from Army currently leading the all-around with a 51.85.
Mm-hmm. And I think we're waiting. We got to see how Matt Davis and Isaiah Drake round off this rotation. But whip to Arabian double. Oh, shame he put that one down to his butt. But that's such a difficult pass. And it looked like he just thought he had he definitely had the height for it. Just
when you land on your behind, or if you fall, put your hand down. Those can usually result in 1 point deduction for a fall, so it can impact the score a lot. But as long as they keep it going, keep those landings, you can make up for mistakes like that a little bit with some sticks and just finishing that routine strong.
Yeah, and he seems to be bouncing back. He's got some great tumbling passes. Definitely his best event. And so he's going to still score very well on that, despite the mistake. I don't think he's going to be making a case for the event title like he wanted. But, the all-around is a very long competition, and a lot can happen. And, I think he's still going to be making a strong case to be a top contender up there. And we've got David Handren on rings. Is this the hair guy you were talking about?
This is hair guy Fabio here to rule the day on rings. I'm sorry, but that is a main.
Good. Yeah, right? I really wish I could grow hair like that, honestly. Way to go, David.
Have you ever tried?
You're doing... No. Longest I ever got, I did a man bun, and everyone made fun of me for it, so I never went past that.
Sam, I would like to request in retirement that you start growing it out and want to see the man bun, or you're going to have to send me a picture.
Now, if anything, I would skip the man bun and just hold off in a cap until I get to Dan Clark level. Or
Okay,
not,
okay.
yeah, not Dan Clark.
Dave Handren.
Yeah, Dave Handred. I just was reading Dan Clark going on parallel bars right now, and he is doing some great parallel bars. Nice easy swing. Got that piece of support press, getting a nice BB combo right before the dismount. And it looks like he's going to be pulling off a big double front. Oh, and stuck. There you go. Yes.
Oh, pumped up.
Throw those fists. Get the boys rallying behind you. That is awesome to see. So Navy seems to be putting on a good show. They didn't have the best couple routines to start, and they opened the door for Army. Army seemed to be capitalizing on that. Matt Davis had his little mistake, but I think it's gonna be interesting to see how close these two are at the end of this rotation. So I'm pretty sure we still have a couple more to go on parallel bars, and Isaiah Drake still yet to go on for this rotation as well.
As he stands right now, all around total, obviously only 3 events so far with him up next on parallel bars, but he's sitting at a 39.75.
Yeah, and we've got Dominic Ramallo. Let's see how he bounces back from pommel horse onto the still rings. So far, scores have looked very good for Springfield on rings. Great Yamawaki sequence. Very nice, clean routine. That is a wonderful straddle planche. Little archy on that, but he pulled it off. No worries. Great dismount. So I think they're going to be pretty pleased with their ring rotation. Rings isn't generally Springfield's best event, but I think that they pieced it very well together to put some pressure on William and Mary.
Yep, and William and Mary, of course, finished up on pommel horse. I believe they are done for the day on pommel horse, at least. Highest pommel horse score for William and Mary. Christian Marsh, their top pommel horse workers, scored a 12.8. That's the 4th best score. For reference, Dan Clark of the Navy leads that event with a 13.65. So solid score for William and Mary. Probably wanted to put up a little bit higher on the execution, but I think overall they'll be happy with that rotation.
Yeah, we've got Darren Lechman going on parallel bars. He's rounding off the team score, and then we're going to have Isaiah Drake going in for his all-around spot, not counting for the team. But this should be a very big set, and I think Navy, counting on him as their anchor, really. Here's this great peach handstand. Doesn't seem like grip seems to be the issue. I think he just jammed a finger on that skill and took him off. But great Diom, great peach support. He's gonna press handstand. He's gonna bring it home for the team. But they're definitely doing the big hard gymnastics. It doesn't seem like it has been paying off all too much on parallel bars for this rotation, but opening the door for Army. And, their consistency theme could end up paying off. It's going to all depend on how they do on pommel horse going into this 5th rotation.
Yeah, and that's what Navy's head coach Kip Simons told me. He said, last year was all about consistency, clean gymnastics, especially with the uncertainty of COVID. They were going for a little bit less difficulty, more consistency and clean routines. And this year it's about upping that ante, trying to get these guys also obviously competitive at the elite level. If any of them want to try to compete internationally, the U.S. men's elite program as a whole is kind of focusing on that difficulty to be able to compete with those other powerhouses. But of course, with higher difficulty comes a lower hit percentage, and they were able to really pull that together last week to go for 400. It might be a bit of a push with the struggles they've had on these events today, but they, high risk, high reward, right?
Yeah. And they have room for error. So it's not like there's they're putting out some big skills. They're making some mistakes, but they have a cushion over the other teams in their start values. But it all depends on how you finish strong, how you can minimize some of the falls in the future. Because I think they still are making the case for the victory, but we are running out of gymnastics time, and if they continue to keep making mistakes, it could cause some issues for their standings going into this the end of this competition.
And of course, Army, they topped Army last week by 6 points at USAG Collegiate Championships to win that title. So that's kind of, they hit 29 of 30 routines last weekend. So for reference, that's kind of how they went over 400. They topped Army by that 6 points. It's definitely going to be closer today.
Yeah, and Isaiah Drake is just commanding this parallel bar routine right now. His Hanma was just absolutely flawless to start. Got some good peach work. The Diam in a quarter, very nice. I'm surprised that they're not counting this in the for the team score. The peach support. Yeah, Isaiah Drake just seems to be doing his thing, and all around, he is coming together. Yeah, that's going to score very well. So I'm curious. We're going to have to take a look at the all-around standings for what it is as we move into the 5th rotation. Well, once we get all the scores, it does look like Matthew Davis was able to jump above his teammate JoJo, and Christian Marsh still making his case. Aiden Coy doing his thing, and Dominic Romalo still rounding it out. And we got Sam Lee, and we'll see how Isaiah Drake's score will add into the situation.
You would think he's definitely going to jump into that top 5, maybe be right around JoJo and Matthew Davis. So we'll see once that parallel bars score comes in. Matthew Davis jumping into the lead in the all-around despite a rough showing on floor, but that shows you that his difficulty level is just really high. I mean, he has one of the highest all-around difficulty levels of the competition, and that, pays off. Again, high risk, high reward.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at Springfield and William and Mary's scores. They currently are sitting at the 250 mark for Springfield, and oh, look at that. They took the lead over William and Mary as we go into this 5th rotation. Very close. I mean, less than a point. It's coming down to the very last event for these two teams, and going to make it a very exciting finish.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can't... Less than a point. Springfield had a great showing on rings with Fabio, Dave Handren rounding that rotation out.
Yep.
And then, of course, William and Mary, they were on pommel horse, so a little bit... I mean, both rings and pommel horse can be a little lower scoring, so that's a pretty accurate representation of where these two teams stand after 4 rotations. So
yeah,
it's going to be close. And
William and Mary did not have the horse rotation that they were hoping for, being at a 58-9. I know that they generally can put on a better showing than that, but, it definitely opened the door for Springfield, and, curious to see, who wants it more as we go into these last couple events. It's going to show, and that's going to be the team that makes it into the NCAA team finals.
Of course, Isaiah Drake, his score is still processing for parallel bars. But as far as the team standings go for Navy and Army, despite Navy having a bit of a rough showing on parallel bars, Army also was not perfect by any means on floor. So those teams are kind of balancing out right now. Our Navy's got the lead in this competition with a 265.85 team score, and then Army sitting at a 265 right now.
Yeah,
260.5, of course.
Yeah, it seems like Navy definitely has that start value advantage, giving them that cushion, despite having not so perfect parallel bars. The fact that they were able to continually grow their lead on Army's best event, which is floor. I think it's looking good for Navy at this point in time, and we're going to see how Army can finish up on pommel horse and rings and see if they can still put a good, strong case.
We just got Isaiah Drake's parallel bars score 14-2-5, and he jumps into the all-around lead with a 54, almost 2 points ahead of Matthew Davis after 4 rotations.
Yeah, that is big. I mean, he hit a very clean set, and it seems like, granted, if Matt had hit that floor set the way that I think he could have, definitely would have been a much closer call. But, still a lot of gymnastics to be done. And I know Isaiah's probably feeling pretty comfortable with himself right now. He's got high bar and floor left to go, but, it's gymnastics. Anything can happen, and I'll be curious to see how this all pans out throughout the rest of the last 2 rotations.
And of course, if you're just tuning in, if you've been following along, make sure to join the chat, get engaged on Discord. You can go to the Virtus website. There's a link to the Discord there. Come into the general chat, talk to us, throw your stick predictions in for rotations 5 and 6, and of course, start throwing in those total stick predictions. You can do a little math on the sticks or what you think the sticks have been the past few rotations, and we'll be giving away some t-shirts to people with predictions close to or exact on that stick number. And then, just talk to us. We're excited to be engaging with you guys through these final 2 rotations, and it's gonna come. It's very exciting. We're heading into rotation 5, where Army is going to be on horse, William and Mary on rings, Springfield on vault, and then Navy on high bar.
Yeah, these are the moments that I mean, if anyone can tune in for any portion of a gymnastics competition, the last 2 rotations, this is like the last 2 minutes of basketball, right? Like, things are starting to get heated, scores are getting close, everyone's hopefully not looking too much at the scoreboard, but I think, coaches at least are. It's their decision whether they inform their athletes or not, but you gotta really get people in the right headspace to make these last 2 events as strong as possible. And this is where the real pressure starts hitting, but also where some great things happen, because some people rise to the occasion, and those are the performances we're looking to see today.
Definitely. And for vault, we're heading back to vault for these final 2 rotations, and Springfield is going to be putting on a cause full exhibition. It looks like we're gonna have 5-6 cause full, so it's gonna be the competition of the causes.
All right,
on vault, trying to see who can hit the cleanest one.
Yeah, kind of like how women's gymnastics used to just have all Yuchenko fulls. It's the new standard.
Luckily, people like Suni Lee throwing in some variety, especially at the NCAA level, to mix it up.
Oh yeah, very true, very true. But we're seeing some great stuff on high bar from Sam Bergadunda. And my gosh, I mean, he had Kovac's work, stuck the dismount. That was absolutely huge.
Yeah, and then we're going to have, it looks like we've got Jacob Nauman coming up on horse.
Yeah, this is going to be a big event for Army today. I know this is the one event their head coach was most nervous about, but looks like Jacob Nauman just finished, and we've got Connor Kavanagh going up next.
Okay.
Oh, it wasn't a strong start for Jacob. It looks like we missed that routine, but a 10-7-5. Not the start they probably wanted, but let's see how they bounce back from that. Nice tongue fei. Scissor down. There we go. Okay. Scissor to the middle. Connor seems to be bouncing back with a vengeance.
He's fighting, definitely. He had a little bit, looked like he struggled a little bit on the front half of that routine, but nothing major. But then he didn't seem to get to full handstand on that dismount.
Yeah, well, he came off on the wrong side, so he didn't get the full D value credit for it. Not necessarily a deduction, but it will lower his start value a little bit. But, I think they're looking for hits right now. So fact that he didn't incur a 1-point deduction is going to be a good move, and they're looking for scores that will just be able to be competitive and keep the ball rolling in the right direction. So I think that's going to change the momentum a little bit after their first guy went up. And we've got Timothy Templeton. Yep, giving us all a lesson.
Ray Bridges. Yeah, Ray Bridges. Just then, Timothy Templeton went right before him, 12-8.
Very nice. That's great score for this vault. And Navy is throwing
Hickey up on high bar, yeah.
Yeah, nice pike to Kachev, straddled. Very clean. He's got great toe point, great line, no knee bend in his taps. That's hard to find in a lot of these release skills. Let's see, half talk. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's bringing a lot of energy on this high bar. It's probably going to be a little hot after he gets off.
There's
especially,
that stick.
Yeah, bringing it home. It seems like Navy is rising to the occasion, coming into this high bar rotation with a lot of energy.
And just a little update that Ray Bridges Cavs full 13.95. He had a 9.15 E score.
Very nice. That's some clean gymnastics being done right there, and I think he's going to be very happy with that performance when he rewatches this.
And I'm super excited about this rotation because we've got an epic high bar routine that's going to be coming up later in this rotation from Cash Busky for Navy. He's capable of doing a 15.5 start value routine.
Woo! Oh yeah, we're going to have to tune in for that one because that's probably going to be an emotional roller coaster for everyone.
He's got Casina, Coleman. You're familiar with those skills, aren't you, Sam?
Oh boy, I can't wait to see this then. Oh, Springfield, not the Cos full, but the Yuchenko double full. They're mixing it up a little bit, which I prefer because the pre-flight always seems to be a little bit cleaner on the Yuchenko vaults. And he nailed that with great confidence and consistency.
Yeah, same start value. I actually missed that when I was going through my notes. Same start value as the Cos full. Different entry, though, of course. Round off, back handspring onto the table versus that half entry onto the table, I believe, Sam?
Yep, the round off entry into it. And Zachary Mitchell just finished up a very strong pommel horse routine for Army. So great to see that they're bouncing back, coming in, and they're probably going to be putting the pressure on a little bit as they catch their groove into these pommel horse swings.
Oh, Andre Butler, 14.35. Springfield is building on vault.
Oh, that's awesome to see. Yeah, it will be interesting because William & Mary's going to end the competition, like you said earlier, on vault, which is a very high-scoring rotation. So Springfield's going to need to step up a lot so that they can put the pressure on for William & Mary's vault rotation next. And currently we have Zachary Patrick going on rings. He's got great swing, great control. Very nice press handstand.
Oh, he's fighting for that handstand.
Yeah, good fight, good fight. Let's see how he brings it home. That's a wonderful giant right there. Nice tight body position. Winds up for the dismount. Tuck half and a out. Stick. There you go. Get your teammates pumped. That's when things start getting exciting. All right, he's setting it up for the next guy to go follow suit with that stick game. You want to get that stick train going. When you got your whole team going for it, it's going to bring the energy up and gymnastics is such a momentum sport. I mean, you might not think it, but it's, you're having, a couple minutes between every event that you do. It's enough to come down, but I don't know. When your blood's pumping the right direction, you're gonna get this fire beneath you, and you're gonna be able to put on not just routines that you get through, but ones that you excel. And we've got Gabe Almeida on pommel horse. We haven't seen very many flares done today.
We
And
haven't. I was waiting for it.
yeah, this is a very fun routine to watch. He's just slicing and dicing through this. And oh my gosh, got that up. I think he probably wanted a D dismount on that, but I mean, when you do flares for your pommel horse routine, it's so easy to be consistent, so easy to bring excitement and not have very many deductions. Whenever you're circling and your legs are together, it's easy to scrape, easy to hit the pommels. When you're doing flares, you've got so much more extension, and so that's going to be a very clean routine. I think that execution score is going to be very high for Gabe.
Yeah, and I wanted to kind of go back to that stick thing because I had a good comparison. Now tell me if I'm right, Sam, because obviously I haven't competed in collegiate gymnastics, but obviously you have a ton of experience with that and competing at the Olympic level. I mean, I feel like sticks are kind of like yawns. They're contagious.
Oh, they 100% are. And that's where the momentum comes. And hold on, we've got Giovanni winding up for a big double flipping release. Nice Kovacs. He's winding up for another one. He's doing a Coleman, isn't he? Yes. Yep. And he's got great, he caught those a little close, but he really was able to just work out of that giant and minimize the amount of deductions. And honestly, I haven't seen anyone do a better flying giant than that. He just pulled one off right after that Coleman. His jam handstand was superb. Great angles. Giovanni is coming in hot. Great half talk. And he's winding up for the dismount now. Nothing but action-packed gymnastics and another stick. Navy is on fire this rotation. High bar is no issue for them, and they're looking to make a strong case and make it even harder for Army to catch them in this first place running.
And we're going to have to be going back to high bar in just a minute. We cannot miss Cash Busky. He's going to be coming up. He's got an even crazier high bar routine, but I wanted to touch on Isaiah Drake real quick. We didn't tap into him on his high bar routine, but he went 13.65. He's currently leading that
pommel horse routine and see if he can affect his standings in that all-around race.
And Davis, a pretty solid pommel horse worker himself. Yep.
That he is, yeah. I can't say it's his best event, but he's just trying to put together a very clean, simple routine, something he can hit, and he did just that. So happy to see that he was able to come together very well for that. Should score very nicely. Not the most difficult routine, but I mean, hey, he's handling the pressure and he's doing what he needs to best. We have Christian Marsh going up on rings, and let's see, because he does a very this is going to be we got to keep him in split mode because Giovanni's going on high bar as well, and we're going to have to just jump between both. Look at that. That is such a flat Maltese from Christian Marsh right there. Press into the planche. I don't think I've seen that all day. Nonetheless, do I really ever see that very often in the at USA Gymnastics Nationals either? So he is doing some very high-level gymnastics into the back of Bryce Maltese. And we have Cash going on high bar. Let's see how he manages. Great height on that Yamawaki. And now it's the wind-up for the big stuff. Dang, huge Casina.
And we're about to see two more Kovacs.
The Kovacs. And Christian Marsh absolutely nails that triple back. Look at the team going crazy. Oh my gosh, we've got so much excitement going on. Cash doing a wonderful Zuli. The one arms are so exciting to watch. And he does another single one arm giant. And he's getting
lining up for the dismount.
Yeah, and he's handling the pressure of William and Mary absolutely going berserk on rings. I'm sure that was getting real loud while he was up on high bar. But Cash is a strong competitor and was able to handle that situation well.
You know, it's crazy how gymnastics were obviously running in collegiate gymnastics and, elite at the same time. So we just had Navy's best high bar worker, Cash, going at the same time Christian is going. The energy in this arena is electric right now.
Yeah, and we just had Joseph Busselmeyer finishing up on horse. Nice clean hit set, making a strong case for himself in this all-around race. And man, I'm just curious. We need to see some scores. Christian Marsh and Cash right here.
Let's see. Christian Marsh still looks like that's still pending. I'm gonna go check on high bar and cash still pending. I'm excited, so excited to see these scores. You know they're gonna be big, especially that triple back from Christian Marsh. Uh, Mike Powell was telling me when he puts it to his feet, that is just such a confidence booster and huge for the team as a whole.
Yeah, and Navy just had an outstanding high bar rotation. My gosh, without Cash's set, which we can expect to be. I mean, it depends. I think he's going to be able to beat Isaiah Drake out for that one, but it could be a close call. But I mean, that was exhilarating to watch. And we're going to see we had Army doing coming up with a 63 for or no, oh, here it is. No, the 58 on Palm Horse. Definitely not the rotation they were hoping for. Looks like Joseph, you know, it's Palm Horse isn't generally his event, but him putting up a 9.6 despite not doing, this is his attempt to get into that all-around race. So I think he's going to be happy with that nonetheless, because he's just putting scores in, trying to make a case for himself. But 15 without the final score from, no, that should be all matched up right now. And William and Mary.
Yeah. Oh, William and Mary, you know what really put them ahead? I believe, nope, they're still a little bit behind Springfield, but Christian Marsh, 14.45 on rings. He's currently leading that event.
Yeah, that was a huge routine. I mean, that triple back was phenomenal. To be honest, I didn't see if he stuck it, but it looks, actually no, yes, he did. I see the stick mark right there. Sticking a triple back on rings. You don't just see people, like, no one really does triple backs. It's not worth it. Why? Because the landing deductions are always so difficult. You're taking 3/10 to 5/10 steps when you do it, but not Christian Marsh. Not today. He's coming in with a stuck triple back for that high level difficulty and a 14.45 to round out for William and Mary. That is huge. And that's just going to carry into vault, because they might be just a little bit behind Springfield, but we're going to see if they can bridge the gap on one of their highest scoring events as Springfield moves to parallel bars.
Yeah, and Springfield did, they did all 14.8 vaults, mainly cause fulls, and then of course that Yurchenko double, and it paid off. I mean, they might not have those flashy 5.2 difficulty scores for their vaults, but they're currently sitting at a 13.965, over 2 points ahead of William and Mary, like you said. Vault up next for William and Mary, so it's not over just yet, but that was exactly what they needed in that rotation.
Yeah, we're gonna have to be watching score by score as we go into because it's going to be close. Could Springfield make their very first NCAA team final appearance? It's looking good right now. They are ahead by 2 points. It's going to come down to the very last routine, though, with William and Mary having vault as their high-scoring event, the one they end on. And looking at these,
we just got Cash Buskey scoring for high bar 13.55. So just a tenth below Isaiah Drake. Isaiah Drake still sitting in first on a high bar, and of course first in the all-around with a 67.65 through 5 rotations.
Wow, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure Isaiah put together a really good routine, but it was just, I mean, that's a great score. Some part of me was hoping that he would take the victory just for throwing those big releases. But, some cleanliness can come at a cost for those big skills, and didn't quite have the landing that he wanted. But I'm honestly curious to see, how I'd be curious to hear from him how the energy that William and Mary was bringing during his high bar routine affected him, or was that something that he was able to just block out entirely, but nonetheless showed a very strong mental state while he was going through that routine.
Yeah, and we are done with high bars, so Isaiah Drake will be taking home that title today. And we are also done with, I believe, pommel horse. So Dan Clark is going to take that title with a 13.65. And as we head into this final rotation, Navy is going to be finishing up on floor. Very exciting. We're going to see from Sam Buradagunta and Josh Williams. Both are capable of 15-6 start values. Army heading to rings, where Patrick Armstrong is a standout for them. William and Mary is going to finish up, of course, on vault. Jonathan Irwin is going to be throwing that very difficult handspring double front vault. We're excited to see. And then Springfield rounding out on parallel bars. Again, Felix Kreidemann, that bars worker, pommel horse worker, super strong upper body strength. And we will see him. He's got one of Springfield's best parallel bars routines. And it's going to come down to the wire for all these teams.
Oh yeah, I mean this really turned out to be such an awesome competition. And we are just seeing high-level gymnastics. We're seeing people coming in the clutch. We're seeing just every aspect that makes gymnastics exciting. So let's see how this final rotation pans out, because there's a lot on the line for all of these guys and their teams.
And let's see Navy powering over on floor. Looked like a solid, what was that, full twisting double
Yes.
from Caleb Hickey.
Very nice execution too. He's doing very well on his landings. I've got my eye over on Ray Bridges on parallel bars. Looks like that was a strong start for Springfield. They're coming off, really hoping that they can stay 2 points ahead of William and Mary, or at least make sure that they don't get surpassed, because it seems like William and Mary is going to be going big on this vault rotation. So high risk, high reward. It could pay off or it could bite him, but we'll see. We'll see. Caleb Hickey is finishing up on floor for Navy with a very clean floor routine. It seems like momentum is going in their direction right now.
We're going to see Will Harrington, I believe, up next. He's throwing a Cos vault. Let's see.
Cos full, or just a nice Cos right there. Good, clean, consistent. They're going to be done pretty fast with this rotation, so they're going to finish and they're just going to sit back and watch and see what Springfield does. And that could play to William and Mary's advantage and really put a lot more pressure on Springfield. But you know, to be fair, I would rather be in control of the gymnastics than just sitting back and waiting, because that waiting period can be very, very stressful. And you're just watching every routine, and you know, especially on a competition that's as close as this is, they might be closing their eyes half the time, peeking through their fingers.
And just a reminder, we've been going super quick through these rotations, but throw your stick predictions in the Discord chat. You can join the Discord on the Verdius website and come join the chat. Throw in your stick predictions. We'll be giving away some merch, some swag at the end of this rotation, and throw your total rotation guesses in there for sticks. We've got a lot of sticks that we've been seeing today.
Yeah, Zachary Patrick, Yuchenko 1.5. Took a little step forward, but hey, he's on his feet. Gonna be it's a very clean vault, so execution score will be very high. And we've got Connor Van Loo and Patrick Armstrong going simultaneously. Connor for Navy and Patrick on rings. And let's see how strong these arms are, because rings is the strength event.
You took my dad joke, Sam.
What do you mean? That's my job right here. I live for the dad jokes. Glad that we could share our humor, though. But, I mean, he's using his strength. He's got a great straight plan. She seems to be doing... Wow, I'm sorry. My attention just got taken by Connor Van Loo doing, I think it's a back double full into a punch front 1.25. Really testing the strength on his Achilles, but very stylish way to go about that combination. And a 1.5 full for Connor. And Patrick getting juiced right there. This team is excited, cheering him on. A strong finish for him for today.
And
nice.
We got a prediction. We got 4 sticks prediction for this final rotation, I believe, from one Discord user. So what do you think, Sam? What do you think we're going to see in this final rotation?
You know, I'm going to go with 10. That's my guess for this rotation. Vault is hard to stick, but here's the big hands. Oh,
Oh,
Jonathan Irwin sitting down the handspring double front. Oh man, that really opens the door for Springfield right there.
it does. You know, high risk, high reward. You love to see. I mean, that's such a huge vault, but it just stinks that he couldn't get that rotation fully around before his feet met that mat.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, good for him for going for it. That's the gymnastics and that's the effort that I like to see in this sport. Because if you're not risking it for the biscuit, sometimes it's just not worth doing. And Jonathan Irwin definitely had the courage and just the confidence to go for it. So we got to commend him for that one. But I'd be curious to see the scores we have between these two right now. We have, let's see, going into this final rotation.
Right now, looks like, you know, Springfield obviously. Jonathan Irwin just went, so we're going to see his score pop up in a minute. But right now, William and Mary's sitting at 356.95, and Springfield's waiting on that score, but they're currently sitting at a 332.7. So obviously, Springfield's got some vaults coming in. And Carter Cacciardo, parallel bars, just scored a 13.4 for Springfield.
Oh, that's huge. That's exactly that's what Springfield needs to be having right now, and I think he's going to be very happy, especially watching William and Mary over on vault right now. But we've got Joseph Busselmeyer going, making a strong case for his all-around today. Hasn't done all-around just at the beginning of season and then took a break, but he's really put together a strong day today, finishing up on rings. I think it was a great choice to put him in the all-around. And I think we're going to see a title for him today. We'll see how the rest of this competition pans out, but excited for him. And we have Felix on for Springfield going, and he's a great parallel bar worker. He's very consistent. He's hoping to score somewhere around a 13. If he can excel, if he can beat that, that will be great to see, and that'll just continue to build the case for Springfield to make their first team finals at NCAAs. Let's see how he finishes up
Look, Drake, a really clean triple full, and he's dismounting right now with the 2.5.
Yeah,
looks like a solid routine.
Yeah, it looks like Navy's got all the momentum to win this competition right now. They are just putting together very strong routines and very clean routines as well. And let's see how Sam Lee does on vault. A lot of speed. Cause full, very clean. Very happy with that. He's got his teammates all right there cheering him on. So that's going to score very well for William and Mary. Getting everyone pumped. That's the energy you like to see. Setting up for the next guy.
And we've got two solid floor workers for Navy to close out this rotation. Sam Burradagunta and Josh Williams, both capable of 15.6 start values. We're about to see some huge gymnastics on floor.
Yeah, we've got Mitchell Monahan going right now, and he's been showing a lot of strength in this routine so far. There's that straight planche. Very strong in that position. Look at that turnout in his rings and that handstand. That is very difficult to do, but really shows the mastery that he has on this event. He's got some good Yamawaki work, getting the swing to transition. And yeah, we just saw on vault, it was Christian Marsh doing his handspring double front, but unfortunately sat that down. Sorry we weren't able to show you guys, but yeah, not the vault rotation that William and Mary was looking for. So I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it's looking pretty good for Springfield right now. I'm curious
and we need to pop into this floor view. I'm sorry, Sam. We got Sam Burradagunta
No, bring it. Yeah,
going on floor. We gotta see this.
He has been flying through this. Great double full into his triple Russians for his non-acro.
But
The score to beat for William and Mary is 385.25. So if Springfield can cap that, they're going to their first NCAA team finals. That was a very nice back double full for Sam.
Sam's finding his sticks today. He hasn't peaked yet on floor, so we've still got some. I think he's still got some juice in him to pull it out today and maybe at NCAA's in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that was a very nice 2.5 layout connection, finishing off with a very strong triple full. Yeah, Navy is just bringing it today. Yeah, we've got Matthew Davis, the big all-arounder for Army, finishing off his day on rings. Let's see how close he can get to those top positions with this routine here. So now he's doing some great swing work right there. Back up right straddle L. Very nice control on that press handstand.
So interesting enough, we got Matthew Davis. He's closing out this lineup for Army, but Army's sitting at a 378.5. They're not going to top William and Mary. They might. William and Mary and Springfield.
What?
It's a little bit early, but they might. This is a shocker. Army.
Oh my.
Army.
Are you telling me Army might not make it? Oh my gosh.
We need to check in on parallel bars with Springfield because I mean this is shocking. It might be between. I'm sorry, Sam. It might. Oh, geez. Obviously, William and Mary is done for the day. 385.25. Army just went its last routine for steel rings. They're not going to put up a 15. So, I mean.
So we'll keep you posted on when that final score comes in for Army. And then we've got, is this the last routine of the competition for Springfield?
Yep.
On parallel bars? Dominic Romallo. Can he clinch this for their team today?
Wow. This is shocking in more ways than we expected.
Yeah, this is a very dramatic ending. One I don't think anyone expected. But he's confident. Look at that height in that to pelt. That's the best way to put it.
It is. Matthew Davis, 14-0. Army, it finishes with a 384.85. We're waiting on Springfield's score.
Wow.
That was a solid routine from Dominic Romalho. They have to top a 384.85 to qualify. But Army might finish in that fourth spot. Shocking.
They very well might be. I mean, Dominic just really had to get above a 12, I believe. And I think he's going to do that in order to beat, he's got to beat a 12 in order to beat William and Mary. So I'm pretty sure Springfield might have just done it. They might have just made their very first NCAA team finals.
And instead of it being William and Mary versus Springfield, Army coming in and William and Mary and Springfield being like, nope, we're not going to battle for third and fourth. We're both going to try to. William and Mary 385.25, and then Army is going to round it out shockingly with a 384.85. Oh my gosh, those last three spots so close, and Navy pushing over that 400 mark despite some difficulties today.
Yeah, I know we definitely focused a lot on Springfield, William, and Mary today, but we just got to give a standing ovation for Navy. I mean, they, started off a little bit rough on pommel horse, but they just kept building and building, and they had some energy that was just infectious for everyone that went up and competed today, and they deserved that 401.85. They were incredible to watch, just so much energy, so much excitement. And obviously we can see that Isaiah Drake was able to take that all-around title, followed by Christian Marsh, and Matthew Davis able to round out the top three for that all-around.
Yeah, and Isaiah Drake, that's his second best all-around total this season, 81.65. He's looking great. And of course, going over to floor exercise, his teammate Josh Williams topping Drake by 4.45 to win the floor title with a 14.45.
My gosh, incredible. What a day of gymnastics that we just witnessed.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm going to be reeling from this meet for a couple of days, I feel like. I mean, you were kind of expecting, Navy was obviously super flashy, looking for that 400 plus. We were like, okay, coming in, William and Mary and Springfield going to be battling for that third spot. And then we're just like, Army, it's kind of just like, I'm probably going to finish second, probably going to qualify. And, they're just like kind of cruising. But then, oh my gosh, William, Mary, and Springfield were like, no, no, no. No, no, no. We can both make a statement. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And Springfield with that second place finish. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they must be, I mean, whatever they did this past week, whatever preparation they had at that inter squad seemed to pay off, because they came together and brought the heat today. And I'm sure their whole program is just out of their seats right now. They're going to be having a big celebration when they get home, but not until after NCAAs, because they've got some more work to do in a couple weeks.
And of course,
and Josh Williams following suit with a 14-1, and then Matthew Davis coming in with a 14-0. That is definitely not what I expected to round out this Still Rings finals, but very exciting stuff for everyone. Josh Williams definitely made a very strong case for himself, but man, that was a very exciting Still Rings finals. And I mean, I think we're going to be watching Christian Marsh's TikTok a little bit later as he posts his reaction from that triple back stick.
Oh my gosh. And then going over to vault, Connor Van Loo just putting up that massive 4.55 to top Andre Butler's 14.35, and then Sam Lee rounding out the top three there for William and Mary with a 14.25. They did a little bit less difficult vaults compared to, say, Isaiah Drake's Cos 1.5, but it paid off today.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's interesting to see that there is only one stuck vault today, and that was Connor Van Loo. So interesting things to witness, and obviously some things that they could possibly improve on going into NCAAs. But nonetheless, that's a very tight finish for the top three spots right there.
And then going over to parallel bars, Navy dominating it with a 14.25 from Drake to win the title. And then right behind him, Clark once again 14.2, and Sam Lee rounding out that top three with a 13.9. That was a tight battle on parallel bars.
That really was, and happy to see Sam Lee getting that spot. I know Matt Davis was really looking forward to a closer finish to the top, but he still showed a wonderful routine, and it's awesome to see how competitive this event has gotten over the years.
And then finally on high bar, Isaiah Drake laying it down. A little bit less difficult to compare to his teammate Cash Buskey, but he tops him with that execution score, 13.65 to win the high bar title. Cash coming in right behind him. Cash Money with the 13.55. And then Sam Birdagunta finishing out that Navy sweep of the top three with a 13.4. And there were a ton of sticks on high bar today.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, you could just tell with Navy being in the top four spots that they were on this event. This is where the momentum shifted, and this is why they deserve that 401.85, because high bar was absolutely stellar for them today, and they definitely earned these top four places right there.
And I think for our total stick score, just to touch base on that, I think we have 25 total sticks. I don't know if that includes pommel horse, but that's what I'm seeing off of our stick total mark today. And of course, we've had some people throwing in their stick predictions in the Discord chat, so we'll be reaching out to you, touching base, and letting you know if you won one of those t-shirts that the team so graciously sent us. So we're excited to share those with y'all. We'll have awards coming up. Sam, I mean, what are your thoughts after We've got, again, just in case you missed it, Navy wins with a 401.85. Springfield shockingly finishing second with a 387.050. William & Mary right behind them with a 385.25, and then Army finishing fourth with a 384.85. Sam, give me your final thoughts on this wild meet.
Yeah, I mean, this whole competition was electric, unexpected. It was a nail biter. Everything about it came down to the last routine, and we saw heartbreak with Army, and they were not the consistent team that they needed to be today. And I think Pommel Horse might have been the event to attribute that to. Once again, just like that Week 11 competition they had against Springfield where they lost to them, and it seemed to repeat today. But I mean, coming in for William & Mary and Springfield, who we thought was going to be the battle for third and fourth place, surprisingly ended up being second and third. And Springfield finally beating William & Mary this season at the biggest competition for their conference. So, and Springfield really just, I think that's the biggest shocker for today. I think that's the underdog story that we've all been waiting to see. And they're making their first NCAA team finals appearance. And we couldn't be more proud of them for doing it.
And I think we're actually going to have a Springfield alum, rightfully so, join us. Nick Kramer, the former team captain of Springfield, his younger brother is on the team. I believe we're going to be having him join us in just a second to give some thoughts on this exceptional finish by Springfield.
Oh, that's going to be great to hear from him. I can only imagine how excited their alumni are right now.
And Charlie Kramer, of course, Nick's younger brother that's on the team. I mean, Springfield, especially Felix Kreidemann, I think his parallel bars, his pommel horse, and his high bar were huge for the team today.
Oh, yeah, 100%. He showed some great consistency, and it was just rock solid. And, I mean, just being able to continue that momentum, keep that energy up, and just being such a reliable source of just good, clean scores, that just goes such a long way for a team spirit.
And then, I mean, Springfield overall, it's wild how, they've never, it's still baffling to me that they've never qualified a team to NCAAs in over a decade as a program. I think it hasn't yet set in the impact and what they've done here today. And it looks like we have Mr. Dave Handren, Mr. Fabio himself, giving us a little peek at the main. And we're about to get awards started over here. Of course, William & Mary is excited to, we're getting these awards started here in a minute. Of course, William & Mary is excited to just have an audience here this year. As we mentioned before, no audience last year because of COVID. And William & Mary hosting this year after the program's fate being up in the air. And now they're going to be going to NCAAs. Like, what a story.
Oh. Nobody's clapping? Woo! I don't know what's going on?
And I think we've got Nick Kramer,
Where are you going?
former team captain of Springfield, here to talk with us, say a few words about Springfield's exceptional finish today.
Can you guys see and hear me at all?
Nick, I think I can hear you. I can't see you, but that's okay. We just want to be able to hear you. What do you think of the finish today from Springfield?
Yeah, honestly, I think it was an awesome finish. I know for a fact that they've been putting in the work. My brother, I think you got that wrong. So Charlie Kramer is actually not my brother. It's Dane Kramer. He was not able to
Oh,
compete.
sorry.
He's been struggling with some injuries, but no, you're fine. Everyone mixes that up, but I spell it with a C and he spells it with a K. So, are you able to see me still at all, or is it just the audio?
I think it's just the audio.
Okay, let's try this one more time. Still nothing?
It's okay. I think we're having a little bit of technical difficulty, but I mean, it's kind of, what did you think? Did you think like partway through this meet, it was gonna shake out like this with Springfield finishing second?
You know, honestly,
Oh, there we go. We
yeah.
got you.
Oh, you got it? Okay. Perfect. Yeah, no, I honestly do. I honestly was not that surprised, just since I have a little bit of knowledge on their previous, work in the gym and with practice every day with hearing from Dane. And I just know how dedicated and passionate this team really is. And they have been doing an incredible job. So, yeah, not too surprised.
And who stood out for you for, obviously your brother didn't get to compete today, but who stuck out for you for Springfield today? Who do you think was the difference maker?
I think Dom Ramalho really put on a great show, as well as Felix. I know Dom didn't have the best meet of his life, but he still really stuck out, and he really, really is a great face for the Springfield team. Yeah, I knew Dom really well. He was a freshman when I was a senior. Incredible kid in and out of the gym, so I think he is an awesome face for the team. And Felix, again, he's one of the newer guys, and he's also international. He did an awesome job and really stood out to me as well. So.
And of course, William and Mary, and it was coming into this meet, it was like William and Mary versus Springfield. It seemed like one or the other, not both, would finish ahead of Army. Are the men's gymnastics and gymnastics community as a whole are pretty tight knit. So to see that team instead of one having to go versus the other, obviously Army finishing last. Of course, you don't want to see that, but somebody has to. So how did it feel to see William and Mary and Springfield finishing in second and third today?
Yeah, that again surprisingly does not surprise me, even though it is a little bit non-characteristic just based off of the last previous years of their performance. But it's awesome. It is super great to see that, and it's also showing that the underdog teams are starting to make a comeback with Springfield and William and Mary. And those three teams, Springfield, William and Mary, and Army, have always been kind of neck and neck in a way, but now it's really showing that, oh wow, these teams are really making a comeback, and their hard work really is starting to show. So.
And NCAA's in 2 weeks. We presume we're going to see Springfield as a team there, and then of course there's a lot of individual talent. What do you think? How do you think they're going to continue to build for that NCAA appearance?
Yeah, just knowing Coach Davis there and knowing the assistant coaches and the team in general, I know that they are not going to get complacent just because we made NCAAs. This is going to be more like fuel to the fire for sure. So they're going to go in there and work their butts off and hopefully have an awesome performance at NCAAs. And I'll be watching the whole thing. Hopefully I'll be able to go there in person. I'm in Lincoln, Nebraska right now. It's where I live. It's where I was born, and hopefully I can drive down to Oklahoma and watch them in person. So.
Yeah, it should be an exciting meet hosted by the University of Oklahoma. And obviously, if you've been tuning into this meet, there's some more great gymnastics happening today, conference championships. Oklahoma, I believe, and that MPSF championship will also be on Verdius, I think, later this evening. And yeah, well, thank you so much, Nick, for joining us and giving some words on Springfield. It was an exceptional day for your team.
It was. I was equally as excited, if not more. And I know the alumni, all of us are, even if we're not there in person, we're all there in spirit. And it's so awesome to see that we made NCAA. So, yeah, so excited.
Well, thank you so much. And Sam, do we have you still? I think we might have lost Sam.
Oh no.
But we. Well, Nick, now you're my co-commentator.
There we go.
You know, it works. We're fine with that. We've got awards wrapping up here. What can you give us a little bit of insight, actually, real quick? You know, um, they've been competing. Springfield, I don't think they've had any rest, but to continue to compete, they get a little bit of a break between now and NCAA's. Will that also contribute to their performance at NCAA's?
Well, that kind of depends. The school is a little bit weird with our practice
All right,
schedule
I'm
and
back. I'm
everything.
so sorry. I hit the mute button. That was that was on me. I've been like screaming, trying to get your attention. I'm like, what is happening?
Well, Nick was just telling us about, going into NCAA's. Springfield gets a little bit of an off week. So, what were you saying, Nick?
Yeah, I mean the practice schedule is a little bit weird at Springfield. There's some kind of weird like D3 rules that impact our ability to practice. So it really depends. I hope that if the fact that we qualified as a team, they'll be a little bit more lenient with letting us practice more. But again, it's just going to be fuel to the fire, honestly, especially if we're able to practice. I mean, they're going to be going at it even harder. So, but if it is a little bit, if they are being kind of weird with the practice schedule postseason, that may be a little bit of an issue with our performance at NCAAs. But, I guess we'll find out. So.
And Sam, what were you? Did you have anything to add or anything to ask Nick while you were muted?
Well, I think you covered everything, but it's just awesome that you're able to join in and give us a call and get some insight into a little more depth to this team. And, it's just so awesome to see all of this come to fruition for Springfield this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I'm also just as honored to be an alumni and former captain for Springfield, and just seeing them grow and flourish is just an incredible feeling. So I can't imagine how it is being on the team, experiencing that. So yeah, huge shout out to my team there, to my alma mater. And for Sam, I know Michigan took the W yesterday. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I'm a big fan of that. Seeing them take the Big Ten title is huge. I think they definitely have been working so hard to earn that title, and I'm just happy that they were able to put on the performance that they know they're capable of doing, and I hope that they can build off that as they continue to NCAAs and hopefully can make a strong case and put the pressure on for Stanford.
Yeah, absolutely. That's cool. I just wanted to, yeah, hear your feedback on that. I'm from Nebraska, and I'm a pretty big Nebraska fan. I'm friends with all the guys on the team, so I was kind of rooting for them, to be honest. But you know what?
Of course.
It's all right.
I mean, we're always hoping everyone can do their absolute best, and that when you walk out of the competition at the end of the day, that you're able to just say, hey, I did the best I could, and maybe I can grow on some aspects and I'll come back next year. Or, hey, this is exactly what I was hoping to accomplish, and I'm proud of everything I've done. And I think a lot of guys came out of that competition feeling content and pleased with their performance, and that their hard work wasn't all for nothing.
Absolutely.
All right, guys.
That's a good way to look at it.
Well, we are wrapping up. Awards, of course, coming to a close. Just so you know, if you did participate in the stick contest on Discord, we'll be contacting you, I believe, tomorrow to get your information. And if you want to get one of the t-shirts that these teams sent over, Sam, Nick, thank you so much for joining. We were just I mean, on behalf of Sam and I think it was just so great to be able to engage with this audience on Vertius, to be able to broadcast to you, the viewers at home, especially for free. I mean, Vertius is an exceptional platform. We're so happy to be able to bring you some postseason coverage. Sam, any final words?
No, just thank you for all the people that were watching today. You guys are really what keep gymnastics alive, and we can always grow from more and more people coming to watch. So the more you can share, the more you can continue to watch and stay involved, keep in the Discord chat, and just keep the conversation of men's gymnastics alive, the better of a competition that we're going to start getting in the future. And I'm just so happy that we were able to witness this nail biter of a competition today.
And just so you know, you can, if you missed any of the routines, you can get the live video from the competition of those routines that you missed in the Discord, the Vertius Discord, and on Vertius later after this meet concludes. So you can catch all that action if you missed any of it. And yeah, Sam, a meet like this gives me hope that men's gymnastics, although there have been some struggles the past couple of years, that collegiate gymnastics in the United States, there's still a ton of excitement behind it, so much exceptional athleticism, and also these athletes are just exceptional human beings in general. We've got 2 military schools that were represented here today. These athletes are going to be going on to serve their country. William and Mary in Springfield, just absolutely exceptional academically. William and Mary, of course, doctors, lawyers. I mean, there's just so much talent. These are exceptional athletes, but also exceptional humans, and it was just a joy to watch them compete today and excel and rise to the occasion.
Yeah, and it's going to be awesome to see how their future unfolds, post gymnastics as well, because doing gymnastics just sets you up in such a way that you're able to handle adversity like no other person. And it's just incredible to not only see their stories in gymnastics, but following them outside. It's such a wonderful sport. We've got so much camaraderie, and it really makes this such a special event.
And I think with that, we're going to be wrapping up. Awards, of course, will continue. They're wrapping up as well. But on behalf of Sam and I, we thank you so much for tuning in for the 2022 ECAC Men's Gymnastics Championships. Of course, Navy our winner today, followed by Springfield, William & Mary, and Army. Make sure to tune in for NCAA Championships in 2 weeks. It's going to be an exciting one. Thank you guys, and good night.
Ready to do the award. Here we go. Without further ado, the ECAC would like to recognize the top 3 teams of the 2022 ECAC Men's Gymnastics Championships. Captains, please support with your entire team to receive the trophy. First, our third place team with a score of 385.25 is the Missouri Captains, please support the trophy.
Oof, my feet are hurting now.
Grace, you might hear it. How was it? Was it crazy?
Yeah.
Busy?
Yeah, I was running around. I
Did it though?
was like,
Our runner-up team with a score of 385.05 is Spring Team.
also did that too.
Take your job very seriously.
I do.
That's good. So we are doing. Let's get it. I don't know if I'm allowed to, but we're having a pizza social.
All right.
Okay.
Soda.
Nice. I know I'm hungry.
Technically, just for the teams.
Okay. Thanks.
Can you make sure I don't want to miss anybody? So can you spread the word with them?
Congratulations. And the 2022 ECAC Men's Gymnastics Champion with a team score of 401.85 is the Captain Krista Ford.
I don't know. Dubs. Why is it so silent? Woo!
Congratulations.
I can't